Hey everybody! Welcome to the Utah Outcasts. This is the episode for the 13th of December 2015. Halfway through fucking December already. God damn it, man. Thank you so much for joining us this week, and we have a great show lined up for you guys, so let's get right to it. But first off, if you can always get in contact with anyone on the show by emailing us via mailbag@utahoutcasts.com. You can leave a comment on the show's posts. We have the text or voicemail line 347-669-3377 or 347-NOW-DERP. And we're on Twitter and Facebook and YouTube as Utah Outcasts. We're supported financially via our patrons Robert and Lee, who have conscripted me into talking about their Pringle can-sized manhoods, for their amazing donations via Patreon, and for making our show better each episode. But if you too want me to comment on how great your nutty bits might be, prove it by supporting the show via patreon.com/Utah Outcasts. Otherwise, you're getting the show for free. And if you do want to support us, but you don't feel ready to put a ring on it by giving us cash, you can leave us a 5-star rating on iTunes or Stitcher, Google Play, or as soon as I can get my lazy ass to do it, putting it on SoundCloud. And those of us watching via YouTube channel, we'd love it if you give us a thumbs up and subscribe to us, because we're going to bring you a weekly show and last a couple hours. You'll enjoy it, especially if you have any kind of fond memories of Utah. But we're not just specifically Utah-based. So, let's get to our panel for the night. Well, my panelist for the night. We have Kyle Steenblick, who is joining me from his immortal throne as Immortan Kyle from the Nerd Dome podcast.
Yay! Which I feel bad. I had to skip out on. I had a cold that wasn't going away.
I should be adding those guys to my feed. I need to at least listen to them.
It's a good show.
Because even if I don't listen to a podcast, I'll download it so their stats get counted. I mean, that might seem kind of rude, but I mean, I have little time to listen to all the shit that I want to listen to. And
it's a good.
Sorry, we'll have later on around Act 3. We'll have Felicia join us, and we'll have two of the guys from Waiting for Wrath podcast joining us, Shay and Steve. And rounding everything out, I'm X. Hi. So let's get caught up what we've been up to for the last week. Let's see. I had food poisoning that lasted 2 days. That was a lot of fucking fun.
Yes. Weight loss plan, right?
I lost like 8 pounds. Well, I didn't puke. I was happy about that.
Oh, that's good.
I got nauseous as fuck and was just sick as a dog. And that lasted like I said, 2 days. But
I'd almost rather have the vomiting instead of just persistent nausea.
Yeah, that sucked. I was eating Tums like you were candy, like to try to help all the bile and stomach acid and everything, because it just was leaving me sour. Let's see. So I ate at Costa Vida. I'm not afraid to say the name of the company. They fucked up my innards. I was not happy about that. But let's see. Other than that, I've been feeling like a teenager all over again because I'm trying to sneak time to play video games. And it really is something that I shouldn't have added to the mix for Christmas this year. My wife got me an Xbox One, but it's like, do I want to spend an hour doing stuff to websites and making SEO better, or do I want to sneak around the wilds of Afghanistan as Snake and shoot people with tranquilizer darts?
It's not a hard choice, really.
It's really not a hard choice at all. I'm hoping that there's going to be like an adult renaissance for me one of these days, and I keep buying games and keep shelving them and everything, thinking one of these days I'll get around to it. One of these days, and so I'm thinking I'll be good for retirement. I got plenty of shit to play.
Yeah, that's like my Steam library right now.
Yeah, I've started off Steam, and thanks to Humble Bundle and a couple other places, like I went from having 12 games, I think, to having like 300 and something. And all the Steam sales where you get like AAA titles for like $5. I fucking love it. It's great. I'm gonna get a Steam link as soon as I can to hook over to the TV. You can't see it from where I'm sitting, but I have a big plasma that is over here now that I can use to game downstairs. So I'll just have this little computer here, stream it over to that TV over there. It'll be fucking great. But let's see. What about you, Kyle? What have you been up to for this week?
Movies.
Movies.
And, movies. Had my 10-year anniversary. Let's see. The week previously, I had a birthday.
Hooray!
Yay!
Well,
see, there's the upcoming holiday, which takes an ungodly amount of preparation.
Yeah, for my liver. Yeah. Well, I didn't know if you saw you probably didn't see the memo that came out, but Obama signed a executive like order for like people to be laid off work half day on the 24th
I saw
for federal employees, which is great. But I work off shift, so I don't know if that's going to work for me
that.
or not. Hopefully, they just tell me not to come in. That'd be fucking awesome.
That would be. Hopefully.
But
You never know the way those things work out.
I know next week I can predict the future already that I'm going to be giddy as fuck to be talking to you guys about Star Wars.
Yeah, that one's gonna be fun. Yeah, I went ahead and I finally broke down and bought tickets because it really, at this point, does not look like the press is going to get a screening in this market.
Yeah, not at all.
Or in any market, really.
It's kind of a movie where, I mean, I'm remiss to say that they don't need to, because I mean it's everywhere. It's not like they need the movie critic to give their stamp of approval, because people have bought how many dollars of pre-sales already?
Yeah, no, they don't need reviews.
It'd be great though.
They don't need critics, but really what it came down to is they really don't want anything leaking, even remotely.
I've purposely stayed away from any new trailer.
Mm-hmm. Well, even the trailers, they've been very, very careful with their trailers.
Well, I think the last one I saw was the Japanese TV spot that they handed out, where it gave a little bit more information behind Rey, and I'm like, nope, I'm done. Nope, nope. I can't possibly fucking hear anything else, because, I mean, I'm not the kind of guy where it's like, oh no, it's a spoiler, I can't stand it. But this is one of those movies where I want to walk into it as that guy that didn't get it as I wasn't a kid born in the 70s, so I didn't get the whole, I'm going to go see this one science fiction movie that, Star Wars. I want to walk into it fresh. I mean, even though I already know a lot of details and we already know the universe, but I want to walk into it as fresh as I possibly can.
Yeah, and that's really what they're trying to do. They don't want anything spoiled for anybody.
Yeah.
So that's what's happening. There was a lot of talk early on about how they were, blacking out critics, but that's really not it. I mean, they are, but not in a spiteful way. Not because they don't want reviews or need reviews, but because they don't want to risk anything leaking and ruining it for fans.
And I think the last time I was excited for a movie of this caliber was Tron Legacy, and hate it all you want, but I fucking love that movie. Because it did Tron right, and Tron was one of those movies for me as a kid that you can't touch.
Yeah, I've really tempered my my excitement for this one.
I mean, I'm not going into it expecting Empire Strikes Back like type of level, because let's face it, it's J.J. Abrams.
Yeah, that's of everything. That's my biggest reservation.
And I know he'll do an all right job with it, but let's not forget, people, the Star Trek reboots kind of were wonky.
Yeah,
I like them.
First one was good.
Second one was bollocks.
Not so much. Yeah, Abrams has a hit and miss track record with films that he's...
Yeah, I'm one of the few that liked Cloverfield, but I didn't like Super 8 at all.
Yeah, and it's the other way around for me. I didn't care for Cloverfield, but I really liked Super 8. Except the end. Abrams has a problem with endings.
Good thing for this one, it's part of a trilogy, so he just has to leave it at the right cliffhanger. And his production company has always been good at doing cliffhangers. If you watch Lost or what was it, Fringe? Fucking loved Fringe.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But I'm excited because I finally accepted the fact that I'm not gonna get a screening, a pre-screening. I'm not even gonna get anything from the Disney PR guys who will show us something on opening day, or we're not gonna get that.
Yeah.
So I bought tickets.
You're like, oh, this is a foreign thing for me.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Don't you know who I am?
But I had to break down, and I'm looking at tickets and looking at all these packed theaters for opening night.
Yeah.
And then the day after opening, and then that weekend. The theaters are packed. I'm not finding times that I really want to go because I'm buying tickets for my family.
Oh, okay.
Everybody's going, so I have to find 4 open seats.
Yeah, which is kind of hard to do.
Yeah. So I pick up tickets for the day after Christmas.
Well, that's not too
Because
bad.
it's like that, that's going to be a day. We don't have anything to do that. We don't have anything to do. So that'll be good. And the theaters they were pretty open.
Yeah.
So I just did that. And then I won tickets for the 17th.
Oh, good for you.
So now I get to see it twice.
Yeah, I'm going on the 17th. The Megaplex is having a VIP party thing, and I got to pick my seats and get like a popcorn tub and all this other stuff. So it's like a $50 value for like $40. It wasn't too bad. I mean, I'm gonna milk as much as I can. It's nice that I can take the wife out on a date. Yes, I called her the wife. Don't get your panties in a bunch, people. Just because I'm not telling her her name. Sorry. Blech. Let's see. Do we have anything coming up for Atheist of Utah? There's the solstice party coming up. I'm not sure exactly when that is. And
Check the Facebooks.
check the Facebooks. Check their website. Just type in Atheist of Utah on Google, and it'll do that for you. It's amazing. There's a gala coming up, but I think that's later.
In February-ish, I think.
Yeah. And so with that, I'm going to say we can move into the news for the week.
News.
Because we're going to keep it somewhat lighter tonight because last episode was almost 3 hours. And I'm not the kind of guy to be a Nazi about the time and everything. But it's me and Kyle doing this. And it's moderately harder to fill time with just two people.
A little bit.
Especially when we usually have our monger of cheese who can just go. And fuck you people that have an issue with Felicia. I love having her on the show because she can go. She can go
and
on.
It's damned entertaining.
And as a host, it's fucking wonderful to have people on that you don't have to prompt. It's amazing. So, too bad she's not here because she would fucking rant about these news items that we have. So first up, I wanted to talk about this one is our very own absolute fucking asshole dickhead of a Supreme Court justice,
God,
Antonin Scalia.
He's a fuck. I'm just.
And I grabbed this from Mother Jones. I grabbed a lot of these from Mother Jones, and so that shows my liberal bent here. But the University of Texas has determined that if it excluded race as a factor, that remaining 25% would almost be entirely white. For this is talking about affirmative action, school positions and everything. Not positions, but admissions. So, during oral arguments, the Solicitor General, who was representing the university, was explaining to the justices, and at that point, Scalia jumped in, questioning whether increasing the number of African Americans at that university was in the black students' best interests. Which is never something you want to speak on the behalf of. Never speak on anybody else's behalf, especially an entire community that's been fucking marginalized.
Right.
To the point where we do have to have affirmative action in this country.
But to play, God, why is he making me do this? To play devil's advocate during these arguments, some of the things these justices have to do is they have to take things to those extremes.
Now, if I believed for the smallest modicum of time that he was doing that because he wants to see both sides of the argument, I might give it to you. But this is Scalia we're talking about.
Oh no, I'm with you.
Yeah,
I'm with you. But I think part of it was, and part of the reason he actually said it. Not only was he thinking of it, not only does he think this way, but he was reducing the argument to that ridiculous point.
Man.
But I don't know why. I don't see his logic here.
And this is a guy with a lifetime fucking appointment.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to be a Supreme Court judge until he either steps down or dies. Or, is removed forcibly because he's a... Never mind. It probably would never happen.
No, he would actually have to do something that breaks,
essentially disbarred
ethics codes or is illegal.
Yeah. So he says, and I quote, sorry, I got a burp. There are those who contend that it does not benefit African Americans to get them into the University of Texas, where they do not do well. Is he talking about all of them? I mean, does he have the statistics right there in front of him? Every black person at the University of Texas does not do well. I don't think so. But, and to continue his quote here, as opposed to having them go to a less advanced school. No. And he even doubles down on that by saying a, quote, a slower track school where they do well. We need to dumb it down there for them darkies. They can't do good with that white school.
The part that kills me is he's talking about the University of Texas. How much slower can you get?
Shit. I'm not a college man, so I don't know. They play football there. I know that. But it's in Austin, which is a liberal bastion in that fucking sea of red.
Yeah.
Let's see. One of the briefs pointed out that most of the black scientists in this country don't come from the schools like the University of Texas. They come from lesser schools where they do not feel that they are being pushed ahead in classes that are too fast for them. Again, speaking for an entire fucking community. A whole race, mind you, of people. He doesn't stop to think about, how this might come out. Man, it's just, and I hate to use the term, but fucking check your privilege, Scalia. God.
Just a little. It's showing.
But really,
You might want to tuck that in a bit.
So he went on to say, and this is more quotes from him. I'm just not impressed by the fact that the University of Texas may have fewer blacks. Maybe it ought to have fewer. I don't think it stands to reason that it's a good thing for the U of T to admit as many blacks as possible. It's not a good thing, dude. It's actually a great thing because it's trying to say, look, we care about diversity. And the fact that they can't get diversity there shows that it's a systematic fucking racism. And that's why they have to do affirmative action. And maybe they're not doing well in their classes because they probably have racist-ass professors that are expecting more of these people.
Probably, but
I'm not even going that
this
far.
is well, yeah, and this is the way you break institutional racism.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of these guys are probably not doing as well because they are not as advantaged.
Yeah, they didn't grow up
in their high school they didn't grow up in affluent communities, and of course not all of them.
Not all of them, yes.
but there are some, and he's talking about the ones that aren't coming from a background of influence.
Yeah, he's talking about the kid from Boys in the Hood. That was the football player that gets to get a scholarship to go there, kind of thing.
Yeah.
He's not talking about the kid that grew up in Plano, Texas, and did great throughout all of his entire school. Got straight A's, got valedictorian of whatever school that he went to, and is applying to University of Texas, and they won't admit him, so he has to go in with a affirmative action position. And so,
and that's how those situations change for those families.
So fuck you, Antonin Scalia. I hate you so much. And I would tell that to him in his face. Sir, fuck you. I do not like you very much. Man. So let's move on to another uppity black person. President Obama wants to finalize a plan to expand background checks without Congress.
Yay.
So the plan that he's talking about right now, this is from the Associated Press, he wants to close the gun show loophole.
Good.
Which I'm happy for. Let's see. And that's also, he requested that the aides draft this plan up in the wake of the community college thing that happened in Oregon. You remember that other mass shooting that we're just numb to these days?
Yep.
He's expressed his frustration in Congress for its failure to enact tougher gun safety legislation despite increasing calls from the public. So there's a great rant that Cenk Uygur did from, I'm probably butchering his name, but the guy from the Young Turks that did a great rant about how we don't have a government of the people anymore because 91% of the people are trying to say we want more gun control, and yet none of these assholes in Congress will do anything about it because they're bought and sold by the NRA.
Yeah, that's about sums it up, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. So on Thursday, this past Thursday, Connecticut became the first state to bar people listed on federal terrorism lists from purchasing weapons. Because that's something that should have been there already, in my opinion. And then days after the terrorist shooting of San Bernardino, the president spoke from the Oval Office on Sunday, urging lawmakers to pass similar bans and calling the measure a matter of national security, because it is. Congress should act to make sure no one on a no-fly list is able to buy a gun. What could possibly be the argument for allowing a terror suspect to buy a semi-automatic weapon? Like all Americans, I have been horrified by the recent terror attacks in San Bernardino and Paris. Oh, this is a different guy. Connecticut Governor Daniel Malloy.
Mhm.
This should be a wake-up call to all of us. This is a moment to seize in America, and today I'm here to say what we in Connecticut are seizing it. So, good on you, Connecticut, but you're tiny. You don't really matter. Except I think they got a lot more representative votes than we get. So, let's see. Moving on from him, we're going to talk about the killer. I don't know his name, and I'm not going to share his name anyway. The killer at the Planned Parenthood shooting. When he showed up to court, he shouted in the courtroom, "I am a warrior for the babies."
Good for you.
And then in the court proceedings, he just fucking killed his case. He yelled, "I am guilty. There will be no trial." Oh, good. Save us a lot of money here.
Well, the question is, did he yell that at the appropriate time?
Probably not. How do you plead? "I am guilty." No, he probably just said, "What? We're going to take a 5-minute recess." "I'm guilty." Sir, we've already stopped the ticking, the lady typing, and all that shit.
Yeah. No, he's God kills me. He's making a case for, well, his own insanity. That's a real good way. This is a real good way to get that to go through.
By
Just
admitting
just start
to crimes.
just start shouting things out during the court proceedings.
And he also shouted out, "Seal the truth, kill the babies. That's what Planned Parenthood does."
Yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah. And
he's a religious
hope-
terrorist, and I
I
fucking want him
hope
to go away.
I hope that doesn't count. I hope they don't accept that as a plea, because this is one that actually needs to go to trial, because they need to drag his motivations out. Those need to be aired.
They
in
really
public.
do, but I don't think we're gonna get it though.
Probably not. I doubt it.
So since we're talking University of Texas already, they were planning on doing a mock shooting on the University of Texas campus.
That sounds like a brilliant idea.
That's
Whose
really-
idea was
That
that?
was really, really dumb. Oh man. Because they were going to come up there and they were going to pretend like there was a shooter. Everybody had cardboard weapons, and we're going to pretend that somebody got shot and they're dying there on the ground. And we're going to show you that an active shooter would be the best thing to happen, so that we can have someone with their gun saying, "I'm going to stop this bad guy." Because concealed carry people, that's how it should work.
Of course.
We
Right.
got decidedly
it's-
slanty
yeah,
on
it's-
guns this time.
Oh yeah, that's a super brilliant way to prove your point. Stage an event that you know is going to happen.
So a lot of people heard about it, especially the college themselves, and they said, "Nope, you are not going to do that on our campus."
Good.
The groups are called Come and Take It Texas
Oh fuck.
and Don'tComply.com. That just might as well get the other URL for that one, resistarrest.com or
Yeah.
or Don't Tase Me, Bro. There you go. How about that one? Oh man. So you remember? Fuck, we don't remember because we weren't alive for it. But Charlie Whitman, that killed 16 people in '66, happened at the University of Texas also.
Yeah.
So I can
yeah.
only imagine that they might be against having anybody coming there, even pretending to be a mass shooter.
Yeah, that's one, that's in incredibly poor taste historically.
And I think they're the same campus that started the Cox Not Glocks thing,
Yeah.
where they're doing open carry of like sex toys.
Mm-hmm.
Walk around campus with like a double like holster with butt plugs in it. It'd be fucking hilarious, man. Just reminds me of that little Donnie episode on Upright Citizens Brigade. Somebody out there is going to get that joke. So, and then finally, we're going to talk about the Trump,
Oh, the Trump.
and then we're gonna step off for a break here in a second. But the Trump rejects criticism of his plan to ban Muslims.
Of course he does.
I
Do you
don't
think
care.
that-
Is his
yeah,
quote.
Did anybody think that he would accept criticism of anything?
And I don't want to be the the person that's pointing out the whole, like, look, we're headed towards, he's a Nazi, he's a Nazi. No, he's not a Nazi, he's just a fascist.
Yeah.
And we're headed back into those waters. You can see the writing on the wall with the gridlock that we've had in our government, and the, making one person the utmost enemy, when it's not just a group of people, it's a certain person acting in a different way. You can't blame all Muslims. You could blame the extremists, and you could blame the religion. You can't blame everybody in that religion.
Right.
Man. So I'd talk more about him, but I don't really.
Well, he doesn't have he doesn't have an argument.
So
it's complete. He's pandering completely to the people who are afraid.
yeah, he wants a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States while we figure out what the hell is going on. The hell's going on is that people are able to buy dangerous weapons legally and use them legally, carry them around legally. But then they'd be saying, "Oh, well, it's a safe zone, so you're not supposed to have a gun there." See, and they broke that law. Like, okay, yeah, they broke that law. Lawbreakers are going to break laws, buddy.
Well, how many just Muslim terrorist attacks in the U.S. have there been in the last 10 years?
Let's see, 2, maybe 3.
Yeah, not that many. And most of them,
There's been the thwarted ones, of course, and there's.
Oh yeah, well, and most of them. Well, yeah, they could be considered extremists. Were not acting on behalf of terrorist organizations.
No,
they were disgruntled employees. They were the Fort was it Fort Hood?
Fort Hood, yeah.
Yeah, this guy had severe PTSD.
Yeah, he had PTSD and he was fucking sick of it,
Yeah. So, yeah, there are other mitigating circumstances. It's not, they just happen to be Muslim.
Yeah.
And they happen to be sick of it.
We're not saying that the Islamic religion doesn't have violence within its books. Every fucking religion does. They're all bad ideas.
Mm-hmm.
But this one in particular acts on it a lot more.
Yeah.
I should say. But,
but and the event in San Bernardino, they're pretty sure it started out as an argument at a work function, at a holiday work party.
Jeez.
And there's indications that they were planning something, but it seems more to be a
but I've planned all sorts of things, but never actually done it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Be like, oh, let's see what happens when I put this noose around my neck, and then okay, that's what that feels like. Okay. No, just kidding. I'm not gonna go David Carradine on you guys.
Yeah, you don't need to take things to that.
Or In Excess. Maybe I should open the show with In Excess this week. That'd be funny.
Mm-hmm.
You're one of my kind. So that brings us to our first break. I know we're not quite at the 40-minute mark, but trust us, we have an hour of waiting for Wrath Guys and Felicia. Yes, all three of those people show up a little bit later. So Kyle and I are going to go quite easy on you guys on these first two segments. So we're going to take a quick little break, and we will be right back. We'll see you in a sec. Okay, and so we're back for our second segment of the week, our fun with real audio. It's Kyle and I here. Hi, Utah Outcasts.
Hey, this is everyone's favorite segment now.
Everybody's favorite segment.
Yes, including ours.
Yes. And it's not quite as painful this week because, it's painful because we're listening to some of the worst fucking people that humanity has to offer, but at the same time, we don't have a little pixie going, oh! So, it'll be fun. Not quite as fun without her being here. So whoever left us a 4-star review on iTunes, go fuck yourself. That's messed up, man. I'm glad you like the show, but she adds a lot to the depth of this thing. Oh man! And also, thank you to all the other people out there. We've gotten 5 other reviews, or at least 4 other reviews that gave us 5 stars. Thank you so much. Please leave us some text so we know who to shout out to, or so we can give you guys proper credit for it, because that's fucking awesome and we love you for it. So first up, and I've always called him my favorite, Brian Fisher.
Oh, this guy.
And he wants to kind of jump on top of what Trump was saying about banning Muslims. The religious right is just having a fucking red rocket orgasm day because they cannot get their cocks any swelled up any harder than they possibly are trying to kick Muslims out of this country. And I don't see where a religion that has so many fucking sects in it where they would draw the line. Like, okay, well, we'll get rid of the Calvinists, but we'll stop at the Protestants, or mainstream.
Well, the
Protestants
Protestants are okay, but we'll kick out the Baptists.
Yeah. God, Brian Fisher. So anyway, let's hear what he has to say.
And I feel that ought to be a part of our immigration policy. Let's use American resources to help these people find a home in the Muslim world. I agree with Janet. In fact, Norway is now doing that. I mean, I've been calling for this for years. In fact, that was in the same piece that Right Wing Watch talked about. I suggested that we assist Muslims in America with repatriation costs. Let's help them find a home in the Muslim world.
Pretty sure we already do that.
Yeah, what exactly is he considering the Muslim world? Is that the place that they're all trying to get away from?
Oh no, it's like the same assholes that share the pictures that show like the UAE and all the other extremely rich small countries over there, where they're like, why aren't they taking refugees in? Why aren't they taking refugees in? Like, because they don't want to? I mean...
Yeah, they don't want to. There's no obligation. And most of the people don't want to go there.
No, because there would be nothing for them there. I mean, unless you are a person of that country, you're essentially slave labor, and like you're in this country as a guest. And at least when it comes to them coming to places like Canada, which they had lots of refugees show up there this week, and it was a really touching thing to see Trudeau talking to them.
Oh yeah, good job, Canada.
Yeah,
way to go.
Great job, Canada. And of course, they're going into France as well because they're going to add. It's like the Borg assimilating people. Your collective, your individualities and thoughts and everything will be assimilated into the country. Like the fact that these guys coming here from Syria, I'm sure we have Syrian food out there, but guess what? We're going to get a lot more of it. You're going to start seeing more. And it's such a stupid thing to be like, oh, well, foodie.
But hey, food's one good part of it.
Food's one great part of it.
Anything we can do to add to the diversity of our country and our world,
because
and our communities. The religion is really a small part of who they are.
For most of these people, it's the exact same thing as me being when I was growing up a Southern Baptist. Like, yeah, we go to church every once in a while. I mean, they might do the prayer thing every once in a while. Maybe they do it strictly 5 times a day. A lot of people probably don't. They probably do the 1 or 2 in the day.
Oh, yeah.
But it's part of their routine. Just like it's part of my routine to brush my teeth after getting out of the shower. It's just that thing.
Yeah, I'd be willing to bet a lot of these people with those viewpoints, those kick them out, we don't want them. They probably know Muslims and don't realize it.
Yeah, Trump knows a whole bunch of rich ones too.
Yeah.
Or how about our troops that are serving over there? And we do this whole, okay, you can't come in this country anymore. It's like, the fuck?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, and I'm sure it's getting to a point now where there's a good possibility. Yeah, there are people who are Muslim who are now slipping into a closet, who don't want to let anybody know.
Man, sad. And he wants to put marks on them. It's fascism, people. It really is a fucking fascist. Man, he is about as bad as Mussolini. About as bad.
They're not very good students of history.
No,
apparently.
Definitely not. Fuck. And you think that we've done enough work that in the last 70 years it wouldn't be able to repeat itself quite as easily. Man. Okay, so he's talking about kicking Muslims out.
They can live in a place that shares their values, that shares their religious principles, that shares their religious practice, that shares their cultural customs. They can be at home. Don't have to chafe against our liberty. Don't have to chafe against our Judeo-Christian value system.
What? I'm sorry. What value system?
Judeo-Christian.
Oh yeah, that thing we don't have.
That thing that we don't have. But if it was to be a thing, that is there within the Muslim religion too.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they have
sure
the same.
Islam is Judeo-Christian.
Yeah.
Since they talk about Abraham, they talk about Noah, they talk about all the things. They just use different names for them.
Same basis,
bad
same
stories.
foundation.
So they can be at home. And I believe we ought to be content to use our resources to help them get there.
Let's use our resources to do that. No,
Of course.
let's bring them. Let's bring them into the country if they want to be. I mean, a lot of, like
Yeah.
we said last episode, a lot of these people don't want to come to America. They want to stay where they are, but that's not in the cards.
Yeah, no, they can't. And really, are they really talking about forcibly relocating U.S. citizens?
So that's a clip that I found from earlier in the week, and I found another one of Brian Fisher defending that clip. So hang on here.
Exactly right. Donald Trump is right. We have got to suspend Islamic immigration, this unvetted Islamic immigration. And
Unvetted.
Unvetted? Really?
I don't think he knows the immigration process in this country.
No.
How
no, he
fucking
doesn't.
hard it is to immigrate to this country.
It's anything but unvetted.
I mean, is he talking? I don't know if he's talking specifically refugees or just Islamic people that want to come live in America.
Well, even refugees are
Refugees
vetted
are
and
vetted for
checked.
a year.
It is not. It is not just like showing up on a boat and go, oh hey, yeah, you guys can just shack up over here. This is not the olden days of of immigration into the U.S.
Yeah.
where you just showed up, spent a day on an island where your name was recorded, and that was it.
Half-assedly.
Yeah,
on top
it
of
was.
that.
Do you have tuberculosis? No. Welcome.
Go to that line. Do you have it? Yes. Okay. Go to that line to die. Thank you.
Yeah.
Ah, man.
until we can figure out how to stop this toxic poison coming in.
Toxic poison. How about quit spreading your fucking toxic poison? You're part of it. You are the fugu, sir, and people should not eat you.
It's already here.
Oh, man.
Into this country. We're not saying all Muslims are carriers of this toxic poison.
Yes,
but
you are.
the problem is we don't know who is a carrier and who is not. It's like the Ebola virus. Remember when the
Ugh, okay, he's going. I didn't vet this one. I didn't watch this whole clip. But he's bringing up the fuck. It's almost like he's trying to say the whole bowl of M&Ms. You know, you don't want to eat any of those M&Ms if there's the case that one of them's bad. It's like,
Of course. Yes, because people are M&Ms.
but I want to be like, okay, well, how bad, sick are you talking here? Are we talking just like mild poison, or are we talking iocane? I mean, because I'll fucking eat it. I'll eat M&Ms. Look at this. Look at this physique. I eat M&Ms. I don't care.
I don't know. Is there a test you can run on the M&Ms to determine whether one of them is poisoned or not?
You know, would it be outwardly appearance differently, or did they come from a certain batch? Because you can figure that out.
It's the brown ones. Just toss out the brown ones.
Oh, there you go. I bet you brown ones are 10% of the M&M mixture anyway. That's racist.
Hey,
And-
Sorry, go for it.
the M&Ms are multicolored. So, just like people. So
Just like people,
that's
they melt in
that's
your
really
mouth.
that's really what they're talking about.
They melt in
So-
your mouth.
I don't know. Maybe that's racist,
No.
but
Meh. Fucking Brian Fisher.
we
not all candy.
end to travel from any country where there was an Ebola outbreak. We just
Okay. Radical Islam is a bad idea. One that can be stopped with education and, being a better fucking country. Because, this whole American exceptionalism where we think we're the best fucking thing since sliced bread. Let me tell you what, it's not true a lot of the time. A good chunk of the time, we're dicks to the rest of the world.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure those travel restrictions to countries with an Ebola outbreak, yeah, those were not hard and fast and permanent. They were temporary, and people went other places where they went into quarantine.
Well, it's just it really bothers me that he's comparing a ideological mindset, a worldview, you might say, to a uncaring, unthinking, one will of that this virus has to do, and that Ebola just wants to do what it is genetically programmed to do.
Mm-hmm.
Islam is not a fucking genetic, programming. You might be more likely to be someone of certain, race, color, creed, whatever it is, being someone that's Islamic, but it's not the same as Ebola, man. It's not spread by coughing. It's not spread by touching blood or something like that. It's spread by, hey, there's this guy up in heaven. We call him Allah. Do you want to believe this? No? Oh, okay. I'll keep believing it myself.
Yeah, it's not even close to Ebola.
No, not even close.
Said we cannot take the risk. Well, Islam is the Ebola virus of culture. And
God damn it, Brian Fisher.
No, it's
God damn
not.
you. God damn you.
what Trump is saying, look, we cannot take a chance on importing more of this virus into our culture. When we put that ban on travel from Ebola countries, we were not saying that everybody who comes into this country from that country is going to be an Ebola virus carrier. We're not saying
An Ebolas. That bolus is the word for poop.
that. We're not stereotyping everybody. We're not demonizing everybody. We're not saying you're all carriers. We are simply saying we don't know who is carrying the virus and who is not. And we've got a responsibility to protect the health of our people, so we're going to have to suspend travel from that part of the world for our own protection.
Yeah, but
because you can screen for this.
Yeah, you can test people. You can quarantine them and see if they develop symptoms, and if they don't, they're okay. How do you propose to test somebody to see if they are Muslim?
He's a radical Muslim. It's terrible.
Are you a regular Muslim or a radical Muslim?
Are you regular or unleaded? Man. So that's all I got for Brian Fisher. I fucking hate that man. So instead, we're gonna move to Teddy Boy, good old Teddy Cruz.
That's a step
Teddy
up.
Cruz.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk to this wonderful man here. The guy from a mixed background that thinks he's a white supremacist. It's great.
God, he's smarmy.
And this one's just even worse because I have trans friends, and this fucking kills me.
Senator, the Obama administration has issued a new ruling requiring every public school in the United States to give biological males who say that they are psychologically female access to girls' showers, bathrooms, and dressing areas.
So
yeah, but that's not even quite what that was.
No. But even if it was the case and someone identified as trans, that is their gender.
Yeah.
Has nothing to do with sex, has to do with gender.
Mm-hmm.
So even it's the whole argument of like, well, I don't want them coming into my little girl's bathroom at school to shower and see her naked. And it's like, okay, well, you realize that in most gyms there are homosexual people that are probably doing just that,
Yeah. Well, and why exactly do you think they would care?
Yeah, and why does it matter? I always don't fucking understand the argument about bathrooms and stuff like that, because when I go to the bathroom, I go there to serve a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not there hanging out and be like, hey, buddy, hey, how you doing, man? Hey, I'm just traveling to Africa this weekend to go get some Ebola. How about that? No, I'm going to the bathroom to either take a dump, take a whiz, sometimes just to waste time.
Yeah, it's not a place for socializing or conversation.
It's not a place for eye contact.
or fraternization or... yeah, no, those things don't happen in bathrooms in typical situations.
And why don't we have unisex everything by now? I don't get. God damn it.
The administration threatens school districts, like one in Illinois, with the loss of federal funding if they refuse to comply with this. Hundreds of girls and boys walked out, actually, of one school, Hillsborough High School in Hillsborough, Missouri, to protest this invasion of their privacy.
I love how Cruz is like, yeah.
This new uproar is happening at a time when many other parents are already upset by the way federal funding is used, manipulated, to change the curriculum in their state. Some 46 states. This is the so-called Common Core.
Yeah.
So it went from transgender to Common Core. Man.
Yeah, that was a good leap.
Oh, man.
We hate educational standards.
You know, God damn it. My kid attending school in Oregon should not be able to change schools and not miss a fucking beat.
Yeah. Damn, we don't like educational standards because
Well, in good news, Obama let No Child Left Behind finally lapse.
finally, yeah,
Yay!
that's a step in the right direction.
Yeah. So let's hear what Teddy Boy has to say.
With little input from parents. So what will you as president do to guarantee that federal funding will not be used, won't be weaponized
Yeah.
to force school districts to require girls to shower
Yeah.
with boys or undress with boys? And what else will you do to stem the growing misuse of regulations, not just funding, testing, for example, and funding, of course? And what will you do to restore to parents and to local communities the control that under the Constitution they are supposed to have of their children's education?
Well, look,
I don't want that much power. I don't want to be the one that's in charge of my kid's education.
Yeah. Well, are they under the impression that that kids in school are required to shower?
I made it all the way through high school without having to shower.
Because I'm pretty sure, at least here, they cannot require it. They can make it available. They can recommend it, but they cannot require it.
The gym coach can't go, come on, Reed, get them panties off. Well, not panties. I don't wear pants. No, as far as you know, I don't wear panties. But he can't tell me to strip in front of him and be like, okay, no, touch your ankles. No, he can't.
Yeah.
It can't get that weird because that's exactly what forcing kids to shower sounds like.
Yeah.
And because I grew up with the school movies of kids going to school in the 80s where it was that big fear of, oh God, I'm going to have to shower with other guys. It's like, it's not a phobia. It's just something I am adverse to do. Because
Yeah.
I spent a little bit of time at Fort Knox doing some military stuff, and you don't get a choice there. You have to shower with other guys.
Yeah. That's different.
As an adult, you're like, okay, the social rule is you don't drop your eyes down below eye level. As often as you possibly can.
Yeah.
Keep it eye level as much as
Well,
you
I
can.
mean, if anything, this is a hell of an argument for why the hell do we still have
Group community showers.
community showers and
Because they're
community
easy and
changing
cheap to
rooms?
put in.
Yeah, but fuck, put in
Ugh.
dividers,
But, ugh.
curtains.
Ugh.
How hard is that?
Yeah, because you don't know life until you're taking dumps without the stall.
Yeah.
It's horrible. God. So let's hear what Cruz has to say.
this is ridiculous. It shows just how radical and extreme the current administration is. I'm the father of two little girls.
Radical and extreme.
Yeah. Hmm.
He didn't say Muslim. Because our pork eating, alcohol drinking, smoking president. Such
Trigger
a Muslim.
words. Trigger words. Let's toss some of those out there.
It just looks like a terrible catcher's mitt. I fucking hate this guy.
Caroline and Catherine are 7 and 5. I don't want my daughters taking showers with little boys. I don't want.
Okay, then don't.
Yeah.
They don't have to shower with little boys. There's no one saying you have to send your kids to school and they must shower in front of a little boy. But they're talking about trans kids. Okay. Yeah, well, that's not a little boy.
No.
May have the genitalia, but that's not a little boy. And I know there's probably people out there listening to this right now like, I don't get it. This is hard. My head hurts.
And yeah, sure, yeah. Maybe it is a little hard and difficult
Yeah.
for our binary brains to grasp that. But
Yeah.
no, sorry. Gender's not exactly binary.
No. I've got a couple of friends. I mean, I keep saying I have friends here, friends there. But I do actually honestly have folks that are like genderqueer. That they're pangender. Like they don't really express either or. They may be born with a set, but they don't. Their outward gender doesn't appear to be either. It's like in every sense of the word, androgynous. And so I hate that word, but anyway, nobody has to force your kids to shower with another person of the opposite gender.
And if it's such a big deal, why not just try to get rid of gym class altogether?
Yeah, let them do that on their own time. I mean, I think they are pretty much doing that in most places. I don't hear about my kids going to gym class, but then again, we're talking kindergarten and first grade, so I don't think they have gym at those ages.
Yeah, that's a little different. That's, hey, it's gym class.
Let's go
play
dance.
Kickball. Yeah. They play kickball.
And they got that
their physical
parachute,
activity.
that fucking rad parachute games that they play. I fucking love those.
Yeah.
I think we need to get a parachute. That'd be great.
They're junior high or high school, and it's absurd. No parents do, and these are zealots. Yesterday, I chaired a hearing in the Judiciary Committee where the acting head of the Civil Rights Division refused to disagree with this proposition. She was asked, is the Justice Department going to begin persecuting school districts that say little boys and little girls don't have to shower together? And she refused to answer those questions.
As she should.
Yeah.
Because, I'm sorry, the Justice Department is not answerable to you,
Nope.
for one, because of that separation of powers thing. And two, why would somebody comment on a hypothetical situation that is not going to happen in the first place? So, no, yeah, they shouldn't comment on it.
Man.
Hell, they shouldn't have even been asked. But
No, it's completely asinine.
It is radical and extreme. Now, you asked what we should do about it. We should do a number of things about it. Number one, I've pledged, if I'm elected president, that in the opening days I will direct the Department of Education that Common Core ends today.
Idiot.
that's where he's going the whole time.
Yeah.
They just want to get rid of the Department of Education because education is the enemy.
Because a stupid populace is easier to control.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
The Obama administration has used race to the top funds, has used federal power to bludgeon the states into adopting Common Core. That will end if I'm elected president. Beyond that, when it comes to the Department of Education, I think we should abolish the Federal Department of Education.
There you go.
Yeah, but you can't do that. If you become president, you can't walk into office on your first day and go, I'm going to get rid of this whole department.
This whole department. That's not going to fucking work.
Can't do that.
Once you establish in a department, it's kind of hard to get rid of it. Because you showed a need for there to be that branch created.
Mm-hmm.
And
You
to get
can't-
rid of it,
you-
you have to show that there is no longer a need for that
Well,
to
and
exist.
it's-
And the Department of Education's been around how long? Oh, since we had school marms and shit? Yes. I don't think it's going to be going anywhere anytime
No,
soon.
it's not. And that is not within the purview of the executive branch.
Well, I just don't understand what major hard-on people have against Common Core.
The math
Is it the
hard.
math? Is it the
It's
math is different than we do it?
The
Is that
math
why?
is hard. Well, the shitty part about it is it's not that hard. It's
No,
different.
It's
a
different
different
because
method.
we were bludgeoned with the old Prussian way of doing school shit
Mhm.
where it's memorize this, regurgitate it, memorize this, regurgitate it. They're not doing that with kids anymore, and I'm happy for it because my head is full of useless shit that I'm never going to use.
Mhm.
Math isn't one of them because I can use time. I sit around and fucking do times tables in my head because I'm a weirdo. But when it comes to multiplying double digit numbers, that's when Common Core math comes into fucking great detail. It's great for them because it teaches them how to do that. I trip on it because I don't fucking know what 27 times 27 is easily without going, okay, 400, and then it's like, that's stupid. But
Yeah.
kids with Common Core can be like, oh, okay, well, 27 times 27, that's close enough to times this by this, and then, okay, and they get you an answer. That's relatively quick.
Mhm.
Not me.
Yeah, it's
I'm
a
tripping
different.
on it, and I'm a fucking math nerd.
Yeah, it's a different methodology, and it trips people up who are stuck in that one way of thinking about it.
Well, and
It's
him-
a different way of thinking. That's all.
him and Meta, the friendly atheist on Pathos or Pathos, whatever you want to call it, he says he supports Common Core, like most of us do, but he's a fucking math teacher. And he goes, look, it's hard for you guys to understand, but this works. It works better this way.
It does. It really does. I like it.
So, rounding it out, I don't think we're going to go past this one because I think we're just about... Oh, let me see. Sorry. Bring everything back up here. We're about 26 minutes into it. So we'll go with this last one, which is Alex Jones and Tucker Carlson.
Oh, goody.
And this is from prisonplanet.tv. You know, good old Alex Jones, man. Say what you... I fucking hate the guy, but he knows how to sell it. You know, he's a great actor when it comes to like making other people believe his shit. So here we go.
I mean, I look at the average Democrat now with these man on the streets we do in Austin and in California. You know, we're not in the Beltway. And I mean, these Democrats, 9 out of 10 say, we go for Obama, we're going to put gun owners in forced labor camps, and we're going to execute them.
As a member of the screeching left, I have never said that.
I've never heard anybody say that.
I've never heard anybody on the left ever say, "Oh, we're gonna execute him."
Where is he getting? Well, first, he's never gonna say where he got that.
No, he doesn't have to. He'll never have to. And I think he must have watched the Thief in the Night movie series because that's what they do in that. They round up people and they execute them for not getting the mark of the beast. Go listen to No Illusions and those guys that do what the fuck is it called? Scathing Atheist when they have a show called God Awful Movies, and man, it's almost like an MST3K of bad Christian movies. Oh, speaking of which, they got funding. Yay.
Good.
We're gonna get, I think, full 13 episodes from them. It's gonna be good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, 12 and a holiday special. Yes.
Yeah, there you go. So anyway, Alex Jones. Sorry.
I mean, and they say, yeah, I'm sick of these gun owners. And we're like, so you want to put them in prison? And so next time we go out, we want to kill them. Yeah, let's kill them. I mean, look at people saying kill Trump. These are mainline people saying go ISIS, kill Trump, and they're not even...
Go ISIS.
Yes, go ISIS, kill Trump. And they're mainline people, of course. They're mainline people. Who?
In
exactly?
California, places not in the Beltway because, the Beltway is full of those sane people. Must be most of his audience base from there. Oh, man, Alex Jones. God damn it.
Radical Muslims, it just seems like it's now more like a dumbed-down power cult, like the Nazis or the Soviets. I don't know how to describe them, but these aren't the Democrats I grew up around who you'd agree with on a bunch of points and, disagree with some. These are like deranged, crazy people, in my view. Do you agree with that, or what would you call them, or what are they mutating into?
Well, you see, Alex Jones. Wait, no, that's not how Tucker Carlson talks. Yeah, let's flip this coin. Okay, we're on heads right now. Flip it over. We're on tails. You guys are deranged, power crazy people. Let's see, but I can actually back this up with evidence. The religious right has taken over the Republican Party. I used to be able to consider myself a Republican at one time when I was a kid. I didn't know shit from Shinola. Sorry, that's an old reference. Nobody's gonna know that one, but sorry, I used my old colloquialisms there. But at one point, you probably could have considered yourself a Republican more than you can nowadays because you have to buy a lot of shit to be on the right these days. You can't just be like, well, I'm all for fiscal conservatism, which is a great idea, maybe not good in execution, but now you can't just be a fiscal conservative. You have to be a God-loving, gun-toting, Muslim-hating fiscal conservative. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, you don't fit in. You will not fit in at all.
Yeah, you can no longer be a fiscal conservative Republican without being a socially conservative Republican.
Yeah, it just does not exist. And for anybody out there that's actually a log cabin Republican, get off the fucking fence and join the party that actually gives a shit about you.
It's a great question, and all the attention is on how the Republican Party has changed, and it's more extreme, and it has changed in a lot of ways, but not as much as the Democratic Party has changed. The Democratic Party from our...
Yeah, bullshit. Look at the party of Robert Kennedy. Let's see. Pretty much the same. Wait, actually, no, we have changed. We're going a little bit more centrist nowadays. Mm-hmm. We're the Democrats now are what Republicans were.
Yeah, they're on their way. It's another switch, and this happens every 50, 60 years.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to be extremely happy when Trump goes against Sanders, because that is one extreme versus another extreme, and either way we win. So we'll have lots to talk about on the show, I'm sure.
Well, yeah.
Or
yeah.
if from our bunker somewhere, because we won't be able to live in this country anymore, because once they get rid of the Muslims, they're going to be like, oh, all them atheists.
Of course.
I could feign a religion like a motherfucker, man.
Hey,
It's really fucking easy, man.
We know enough. We
Yep.
know enough. Unless Jeb Bush actually does perfect his Christian detector.
I wonder if it sounds like the machine that goes ping.
It goes ding when there's stuff.
Or it's the the I'm a Christian alarm sounds a lot like the Homer Simpson everything's okay alarm, where it just is constantly blaring a noise unless it goes quiet. Then you know there's a problem.
I were about the same age. For our lifetimes was the party of kind of the faculty lounge, affluent white intellectuals on college campuses, of course, of minority voters and of the poor. But it was also the party of like the working man. They always claimed that, and they were right, actually. The average wage earner was a Democrat because he thought the party was on his side. It is no longer that. The Democratic Party is the party of left-wing intellectuals and of people who are wholly dependent on government, who need government help. And so, of course, Democratic Party is their natural home.
Hey, do you fit either of those?
Yeah, no. Well,
I'm
I
kind of
don't
an
know.
intellectual,
Yeah.
but I'm not as he said.
I don't know. Maybe, sort of,
And
I guess.
I'm not wholly. Well, actually, my paycheck comes from the government, so yes, I am
Yeah,
wholly
sure.
dependent on the government.
Yes,
So there you
yes. We are both wholly dependent
Both
on
of
the
those, yes.
government. So yes, okay.
go. Oh, and also I'm
that
middle
fits.
class, so fuck you, Tucker.
Uh-huh.
You know, he's talking about this middle class like it's something that still exists.
Yeah, not really.
No, you have poor people, and then you have rich people. That's what we're at nowadays.
Hmm.
There's nobody in the middle. They don't represent normal people anymore.
So
Because there is no middle. There's no fucking middle for them to represent anymore.
Yeah, you've pretty much managed to eliminate the middle.
You've pretty much made everybody in the middle become poorer, and then let a few people become richer. Dicks.
it's a game. It's a game.
It completely is. And so without the leavening effect of normal people with jobs and families and, and maybe a week of deer hunting every fall, they have no reference points for what's normal.
Man, he's just pandering. Pander.
That's where does deer hunting come in?
Because that's what that crowd does. That's what the InfoWars crowd does. I listen to podcasts of Alex Jones while I'm out there skinning them squirrels. I've eaten squirrel. Fuck you guys. It's good.
And the authoritarian impulse, which has always been on the left, because the left believes that politics is the way to improve the world and human nature itself. So they take politics much more seriously than the right does, for sure.
Okay. So,
We take politics more seriously than the right.
well, yeah, because we are pretty damn sure that if you leave people to their own devices, they are not going to do what's in the best interest of the population as a whole.
Man, fuck this guy. God, I hate him so bad.
That authoritarian impulse has nothing to hold it back.
That's right.
And it's in full flower. And the gun issue, I don't even talk about it much on the air because it makes me too emotional. And I become tongue-tied because it makes me so angry. But I'll just make the obvious point that I know your viewers agree with. But they're not even pretending that gun control will make the country safer, because it demonstrably won't, or prevent.
It demonstrably won't.
Really?
Yeah.
How exactly is it?
Look at those
How
numbers
is
for
that
Australia
demonstrated
again.
at all?
Look at the numbers for like every other country that does have gun control. How many deaths there have been from guns? They're like, oh yeah, well there's an increase in crime.
They won't even let
Man.
them study it in this country.
Yeah.
You
It is-
can't even study it. So how could you even demonstrate it? One way or the other.
Man, just farts coming out of both these guys' mouths, and it's just terrible.
Terrorism. It's absurd. They don't even try. They're basically just saying that anybody with a gun or certain kinds of guns is prima facie evil, which is to say they're part of another culture, one that we're not a part of, that needs to be stamped out and destroyed. And let's just go ahead and use this national crisis to hurt these people. I mean, that's kind of their open pitch. They're not even pretending anymore. It's really ominous.
Very well.
I can't hear this shit anymore. No,
Yeah.
I'm not saying people that own guns are evil. I'm saying ignorant people that own guns are dangerous. That's not.
And I'm pretty sure most people now on the left are not even saying they're evil or bad. They're saying you really don't need them.
That's the thing.
And because you don't need them, just having them present is an increased danger.
Yeah.
Their presence increases the likelihood of somebody getting shot.
Like, you're more
That's it.
likely to get shot by the gun in your own house than anywhere else. And you know what really fixes that problem? Not having the gun in your house.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's amazing. I have first-handedly in my own family, my dad shot a fucking hole in the floor.
Mm-hmm.
My brother shot a hole in the ceiling because they're humans trying to use these things. Even if they're trying to teach somebody, accidents fucking happen.
Mm-hmm.
Accidents happen in cars all the time, but guess what?
Yeah.
There's airbags, there's safety features, there's insurance, there's testing, there's all this
And
wonderful like stuff that comes from being a regulated fucking industry.
Well, they do everything they possibly can to make cars as safe as possible, so that if the accident happens or when the accident happens,
Yeah, it's not an if anymore.
you are as protected as possible. They spend massive amounts of time and energy and money engineering these things.
And you wonder why
But-
so many car companies reuse the same engine over and over again.
Oh yeah,
Because it's been tested already.
people crash their cars all the time and walk away from it
Yeah,
because of safety standards. That wasn't always the case.
no.
But
God.
when there's an accident involving a gun, a good portion of the time, someone will most likely die.
So,
If someone's hit. Luckily, that's not the case all the time.
Yeah.
But
So that brings us to an end of segment 2. We will be back with the third segment, complete with Felicia Entwistle and the two guys from Waiting for Wrath. So we will catch you guys in a second. We'll be right back.
and you'll finally be able to hear more than just us two.
Yeah, more than the sausage little fest that we got going on here. Hey Kyle, let's go sword fight.
That's a short sword fight.
Yeah, I know. It would be dangerously. I think my belly would get in the way.
Close quarters. More like a dagger fight,
It'd
really.
be like CQC. Yeah, there you go. Nerd reference there. Okay, we'll be right back. Okay, and so we're back from break here, and we want to catch up with the Waiting for Wrath guys. We have Steve and Shay joining us for this wonderful segment. So, guys, tell us about the show, Waiting for Wrath.
Well, we got together
It really
a
sucks.
little over a year ago.
I fucking hate it.
Aaron decided he wanted to do a podcast, and he recruited Shay.
I-
And then I listened to the few of the episodes, and then Shay didn't show up one week, so I guessed it on.
Yeah. And then we couldn't get rid of him.
I haven't missed a show since.
That's hilarious that, like, guesting roles usually, like, are how... It's like the person that comes over to the house and doesn't ever want to fucking leave.
That's,
Yeah,
that's
exactly
pretty
what
standard
I
for podcasts from what I've
Was
seen.
that how I was brought on? Because I believe I thought I was supposed to be like a regular panelist from the beginning. Tell me I was
No,
regular.
you were a regular panelist from
Okay.
the beginning.
Okay.
It was the other person that was a...
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to be on, and then they stuck around. And
Oh,
Yeah,
was-
that happened, and then that didn't
Yeah.
happen anymore.
I'm sorry, guys.
We haven't mentioned the most important part, though. We also have Jen on our show.
Have we talked about how great Jen is? She
Not
is just
yet,
the
but
best
we're about to.
of all of us.
all you
So-
all you potential podcasters out there, get a girl on your show.
Yeah.
It fucking does wonders.
So much better off now, believe me. Jen joined us in around episode 13 or so, and
And that's when we finally like solidified.
she turned the show into something listenable.
And that's when we realized the 4 in our name actually made sense.
Until then, it was
There's 4 of us.
Oh shit. Awesome.
I got a question for you guys. We haven't got a ton of complaints about our show, I want to be honest, and most of our listeners have been absolutely fabulous, but most of the complaints have been about me.
oh,
Like, including one that was like Felicia's voice, though.
Stop that. Yeah, it was like, oh, stop that voice. Oh.
Like, I'm like, I can't do anything with this. This is what I have to work with.
I don't know. Maybe just need a better microphone or something.
I
we
have
got her
that
good one.
now. Yeah, these guys are awesome.
Well, then there's nothing we can do.
I don't
No.
think Jen's gotten any bad press.
Oh no, no.
Well, that's
everybody
awesome.
loves
That's
Jen.
good because
I got
that's-
some.
Everybody loves Jen more than the rest of us. Really.
I get drunk and say things I shouldn't.
Yeah, we edit most of that out too.
Mainly
I don't
my
know.
I
I'd love to hear what got edited out the last 2 episodes. Christ, you guys were talking about eating placenta, and let's see, before that there was the complete rundown of the gynecological tools, and
We were very curious.
You heard only the best of it, believe me.
oh man,
Sometimes I drink and I get curious about parts I don't have and like to see how awkward I can make things in this tiny room.
You can make it really awkward, though. Jen's pretty good at kicking him under the table now, I think, so that helps.
It's amazing.
Yeah, can we change seats next week? Because I don't like sitting across from her.
Plus,
those
we don't
shoes
record
hurt, man.
video.
By the way, using all those gynecological tools, like having them be used on you, gets way more weird. Just saying.
I can imagine. I would not want to be there. for any
I've
of that.
actually set in on gynecological exams because I'm married, and I learned it's best to stand by the wife's head.
Yes.
Time.
Okay. Now I gotta bring it up. Now I gotta talk about it. So
There you go. See, you bring us on.
Oh,
we
man.
bring level
All
of
right,
discourse.
if you're gonna
So-
go there, I'm gonna take it and run with
yes,
it as
let's
soon as
do
you're
this
done.
thing. Let's do this
Just
thing. All right.
should
So
we have?
I got an IUD. That's like the most. I've never had a kid, so like that's the most invasive anything's ever been for me. But that means that
isn't that the thing where the terrorists put down that explode? Why did you get one of those?
IUD.
Yeah, I got
That would
veteran
be
friends that are.
Uniform Delta. Thank you very much.
All my veteran friends are afraid of trash on the road and shit. They're like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, that's an E because the
I know.
U is not E. How do we?
Oh, okay. I was like, dudes are gonna be very scared to get all up in there if they might explode.
Yeah, U intrauterine device.
Isn't
How's
that
that?
that one like disco song's about? Ring my bell. You know, you want them to explode.
No. God.
Squish.
If they're doing it right. So part of the getting the IUD procedure is that they actually have to spread the cervix, which really doesn't want to be
Nope.
like at all, like at all, and get like this tiny, like it's 1 inch long, like thing in there, and it hurts like a motherfucker. But to do this, they've got like these nasty looking hook things, like it's like these long.
It's like some fucking H.R. Giger stuff where
Yeah, no, it's fucking terrible. So before I got my IUD,
Xenomorph comes out.
I'm actually not like I don't have any medical phobia whatsoever. If I research and like watch the procedure, I'm like, oh, okay, now I'm cool with it. Like I'm like, yeah, I get it. So I don't have any medical phobia. So I watched the entire procedure. I saw all the tools they use. Like I watched like training videos on how to insert an IUD. Like
Oh my
that's
God.
what.
So you could have done it yourself with a mirror.
No, but because it hurts. Like it hurt with a Lord tab. So like it hurt. So
Should have gone in drunk.
You should have powerful Vicodin, really.
yeah, hi. I was.
I need a 10
high.
milligram minimum
Oh, that
here.
works.
Yeah, but it was Lord tab again. It was Lord tab.
Yeah,
you
those
know,
don't
like I was sufficiently not capable of driving. Is that fair?
All right.
Yeah.
all right.
So, like, because I was fucking scared, and then I got the Lord tab. I'm like, nah, let's do this. But it was. So I watched the entire procedure, and yes, they spread everything open, and then they get these pokey tong things. And funny thing is, the pokey tong things don't hurt, not at all. Like they like somehow like the cervix can really, it doesn't like being like beat on, but like pokey things.
That makes sense. Why my wife complains.
Sweet
Exactly.
Christmas.
Exactly.
Oh,
Cervix
you know,
doesn't like this, but it really doesn't mind this. Like,
Well,
so
that's what it was designed for.
Right. Well, okay, so I didn't mind the poke, but the pull is where it went like, fuck everything! And again, the cervix doesn't feel it, but the rest of your fucking body does.
I honestly think for a lot of medical procedures that they don't put you out for, they should still offer you the stick wrapped with leather.
You to bite down on?
Yeah.
Exactly. Bite down on this. If nothing else, you'll be quiet.
I think I handled it better than my ex-husband because I just went like, ugh. And he he didn't realize that he was there with me and he was holding my hand. And he didn't realize that I had watched all these videos and knew every tool they were using and knew everything, every single step. I'd watched like 5 videos on this. I knew what I was in for. And so like the only thing I was scared for was the pain. And it hurt. So, rational fear.
That's when the
And,
lizard
like,
brain takes over.
He's sitting there holding my hand, and like we get done. He's like, "I'm so glad you couldn't see the tools they were using. They were so scary." I'm like,
Okay,
Oh.
now here's a serious question.
"Yeah."
Once they had you all opened up, was there an echo? Hello,
Hello.
Is that how that works?
She's only been
No,
married
she's-
for a short
For
time.
those
so you
listening
still
at home,
No.
that was
I
a
said-
double finger.
I said ex-husband.
Hey, you know
You
how to
guys
kill
are
Oh.
cute though.
I try. You know, I can
So,
only
yeah.
do so.
Waiting for Wrath. You guys are on iTunes, Stitcher.
Yeah, you can find us on iTunes and Stitcher if you
all
look
your
for.
typical podcatchers. Search on the Google. You type in "Waiting for Wrath." We'll pop up first. Our webmaster is awesome. That's Aaron, by the way, one of the hosts.
But don't forget about Jen, who's the most beautiful podcaster that we have on the show.
By far and away.
We have to make up for some past discretion, so we're gonna just pimp Jen as much as we can.
Transgressions.
Transgressions, whatever the aggressions.
Aaron and I went on Sacrilege like a year ago when we mentioned everybody but Jen, and she still doesn't let us get over it. Because we talked to him about it before we started recording, and then didn't realize after we're recording that she hadn't come up again.
What the fuck, guys? Come on.
Exactly.
Dude.
Dicks.
Yeah, I think she's right.
Oh, she is. She is. Absolutely. There's no doubt.
So how long has she been holding that against you?
Ever since
It's about a year now.
Yeah, it was like last December or January.
It's yeah, and it probably won't end, but
Well, I think you got another year and a half before the statute of limitations expires.
Yeah, and I think
does that matter with the?
I'm pretty sure she's going to hold it against us as long as she knows us. So.
Yeah.
in your guys' studio, you need to get like the best headshot you can of Jen, and you know the 9/11 memes where it says "never forget."
That's what we
Have her
should.
face.
We could put it up with our Jesus.
That's what we're doing for Christmas now. We're taking a headshot of Jen and putting that and framing it and putting it on the wall.
Never
My
forget.
wife gave us Indy Jesus in my stocking last year, so he's our studio mascot.
He used to hold whiskey. I don't know where his whiskey went.
I know his whiskey bottle disappeared.
I've got a bunch of old toys over here on this. I got my Fallout bobblehead guy, the Vault Tech dude.
Nice.
I got my easel back there.
Oh yeah.
Oh, fancy.
man. So, let's see. We got into you guys going off topic on things, which we did, blueberries. But we didn't talk to you guys about what the other twist of Waiting for Wrath is. What makes you guys special is that you are a beer reviewing podcast.
Oh,
Absolutely.
I drink until I can't see, and that's mainly when Aaron asked if I was interested in starting a show with him. My first thing was like, can I drink? And can I talk about drinking? And do I have to be coherent? And all the answers lined up, and that was how the first show started. And
Hooray,
So-
podcast!
So
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
every episode we choose a beer, and we all have a taste, and we review it, and we give it a point score out of 10.
out of 10, unless I forget, then it's out of 5.
So, gentlemen, I am actually a cheesemonger, and part of my job is to do flavor profiles. And this, because I'm a cheesemonger, means that I am not limited to cheese, but chocolate, wine, and beer.
So
I've
all
actually-
in all, you're just a monger.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
but Utah does not allow me to monger wine. So,
Oh, it's a shame.
but I do have actually a beautiful specialty chocolate section as well that I love and I adore, and beer we are limited to the 3.2. But our last
Ugh.
our last cheese and beer pairing class was with Epic Brewery, who we cannot sell in grocery stores. So that is how much my job
Because they're
loves.
that fucking good.
Because they're well, it has that much alcohol. They're epically brewed.
Oh, they're delicious. They're cool.
They're one of the few people in state where you can go get what are they? They're called crowlers.
Yeah.
With the,
growlers.
not growlers, crowlers with a
What the hell
C.
is that?
Never heard of that before.
They
They're
will-
they're pre-filled and capped. They're not from the tap.
They're like 32-ounce cans
Yeah.
that they make.
that's-
So it's like it's a bigger portion of beer, but they have it in a can, so it's easily portable.
Anyway, my store believes in being able to recommend these beers beyond just what's in our store. But that's not the point. The point is that I do flavor profiles on all of these things. And I have a beautiful resource if you guys wanted to be able to perhaps, I don't know,
do tell.
log it, like do flavor profiles. Like there's a notebook.
Oh, the beer tasting notebook.
No, it's called 33. It's called 33 books.
Yep, I have probably about 30 of those books actually.
You have 33 notebooks.
I don't know if I have a stack about this big of them.
I have many fine leather-bound books.
I actually personally prefer that style of flavor profiling
I
above
think it's
others.
great, and they're tiny. It fits in your back pocket. The year they came out, everyone that I knew gave me one, which is why I ended up with.
Oh, that's funny. We just got
you-
them. We just got them, so I'm giving them to everyone.
Oh yeah, I got loads of them. I love them.
Sounds like a moleskin or something.
It's about the size of the small moleskin, but every page is printed with your profile. It has a circle diagram so you can rate bitterness, sweetness, all that kind of shit. It's pretty cool.
No, they're fabulous. I have a T-shirt with my favorite cheese, my other boyfriend who's a cheese. That profile on it, like that shape. Yeah, I do. I really do. It's Harbison, and he's fucking sexy as fuck.
So what we're learning is that you might all be atheists, but Felicia, you still worship Jesus.
Oh, you have no idea, darling.
I'm actually the least of the beer drinking in our crew. The other three are real beer connoisseurs. I mostly drink whiskey. I drink beer when I'm here.
I love whiskey. I'm a big fan of whiskey.
Kyle's a whiskey guy too. I'm
learning.
Oh yeah.
Shay's got a nice scotch here that he brought back from a recent excursion that we've been working on.
I don't know if any of you have heard, but
I have.
Have you? I just got back from Ireland and Scotland. So because I hate everyone I do
Pip
this
it out there.
podcast,
It was for your honeymoon.
Did
Congratulations.
you eat cheddar? Did you at least eat cheddar?
of course I ate so many cheeses. I think I was constipated for a week.
That's because they eat cheese in Europe. Like they actually, like it's a way of life. I'm sorry, I get super geeked out about this. I'm sorry. Backing off.
Jesus.
So
I
Megatron
seriously
became
love
Galvatron.
That's how our round table usually ends up. Comic book talk.
That's exactly for the past 2 weeks it has, hasn't it?
Yeah, you guys have done a lot of it on the show. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Aaron has been just like fucking creaming his jeans over Jessica Jones, and Jen is right there with him.
Oh, we've all been going off on Jessica Jones.
Yeah,
That's
it's pretty
stuff.
Fucking awesome. But I brought back a nice bottle of whiskey that we've been slowly drinking, though if we get too much deeper into it, we all fucking pass out.
That's because it's 100 proof, isn't it?
It is 100 proof.
Yeah, you can't even buy it on this side of the pond.
No, I have my wife's brother, so I guess my brother-in-law is out in Scotland for the next 2 or 3 months. He's doing a program out there, just work study type shit. But he's promised to bring me back at least another bottle. So,
well, we've got we've kind of worked out really well with the Atheist podcast guys. So I wonder if they could get stuff like that up in Canada and somehow get it to the States.
This one specifically doesn't leave the border.
Doesn't leave the island. Okay.
Yeah,
got it.
that's what I asked for specifically.
You can buy the 80 proof version of it here. You just can't get the 100 proof.
Yeah, I wanted something specific that no one else could find.
Let me just buy a lot of it and distill it.
There you go.
Yes.
I did that in high school and college.
That's how you turn potters into Smirnoff.
I can't recommend it as a way to get a drinkable liquid if you're not really, really good at it. But I drank it anyway.
Well, we have a couple of new distilleries here in town. I can go ask them to help.
Yeah. Managed to get a handful of them here in Utah, too. It's pretty nice.
Are they still free, too?
Drinkable's pretty subjective.
No, we're talking like real distillery.
Oh, yeah, no, they're the ones
they don't
we
have
got
to
are pretty
abide
good.
they don't have to abide by the fucking liquor laws.
Oh, they get fucked by the liquor laws, but
Yeah.
they do it anyway.
There's like a 300% tax.
Yeah, no, it's
There's
about
a
30
huge
or
one.
40%, I think.
Ouch. We
Yeah,
have a place in town that makes clear liquors. They make vodka and gins, things like that.
Have you tried it yet?
I have not, actually.
I
no.
need to.
Well, we have
For our next show, we're drinking 25 beers.
That's right.
Isn't Kyle, is Five Wives one of ours, or is that?
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
Yes,
Five
it
Wives
is.
one of ours.
Yes, that's Ogden's own.
And I think
Indeed it is.
like right around there we have. You guys might be able to find it up there where you live. I'm a sucker for like a liqueur, like a good herbal liqueur. So I'm one of those assholes that likes Jaeger.
Oh, you and my wife.
I can tolerate Jaeger. I can tolerate it.
I don't even like the smell of it.
But there's a
Is that because she puked on it once?
there's one kind of like produced here in Utah as well called Underground. That's pretty good too.
that's Ogden's.
But
They're same guys who make Five Wives.
It's fucking High Point though. It's like a High Point Jaeger. It's amazing.
Yeah, I'll trade. Oh man, it sounds like something my wife would fucking.
I like
love.
my Canadian whiskey. What am I gonna say? I like that.
Me too. I like Canadian whiskey and I like tequila and I like.
Yes! Oh my god, we need to hang out. Like
It's got to be Scotch.
But the great thing is these guys are only like a state away.
That's true. We're not far.
No, and we have much lax liquor laws. You can
I
actually.
know.
drink-
You guys have
Idaho?
Utah's best liquor store.
The one right across
Wyoming or Idaho? Which
I
one
know.
is it? Wyoming or Idaho?
Wyoming holds
Okay,
Utah's
so
best
the next
liquor
time I'm
store.
out that way, I'll hit you guys
That's
up.
Salt Lake, about 9 hours. from
9
here.
hours is that it?
I
Yeah, I
think
think
Salt
so.
Lake's about 9 hours from where
9?
Oh Jesus
No.
Christ! Where are you guys? Where are you
Where
guys?
the fuck are you?
We're at the
Laramie,
University
we're
of
right on
Wyoming.
I-80.
Oh,
Wait, no, say that
Laramie.
again.
Laramie.
Where are
Okay,
you?
gotcha.
Laramie.
Laramie, Wyoming.
Laramie, that
Oh.
is not 9 hours away. Bullshit.
No, well, it feels like it.
Well, how far is Salt Lake from the Wyoming border?
About
and
an
a half.
hour.
Oh, then we're closer than that because we're about 6.5, 7 hours to the border from here.
Okay, so it's about 8.
Yeah,
You're only an hour. That's still fucking long.
it's straight down 80. It's hard to miss.
That is true.
Yeah,
And what-
I know
if
people
that-
who've been, I know people who've worked in Laramie, so
Lucky folks, lucky folks.
Oh yeah.
So
I
anyway,
think
I love Laramie. I've been here for years.
waiting for Wrath. Go pick them up, iTunes, Stitcher, and everything. But we do need to get to the main topic that we're going to talk about this week, and that's going to be why we do what we do, and mainly that is being atheist podcasts. I mean, I guess the reason I do it is because I like talking to people. I've always been the kind of guy where I'm really quiet in a crowd and everything, but you put a microphone in front of me and I'll go for hours.
Yeah, you were on our show. You lasted for hours.
I was amazed.
that's what we do on
how-
our shows.
How you guys trimmed it down. I was like, man, that was a long recording. Like you
You
guys, do
guys,
super
I'm
editing.
sorry, I just googled this shit. Maximum, you guys are 6 hours away.
Okay, well, there you go.
That's not bad.
Even better.
There we go.
No,
So
I'm
next
sorry, but 3 to 6 is like 3 more hours on that is a long fucking difference.
So when I'm driving, it'd be 4.5.
Yeah, we're 4.5
Exactly.
hours.
Actually, and it says 3 hours by plane on Google.
Well, if my car can hit 140.
Mine can will explode shortly after. Give a good mile out of it.
I was happy. I wasn't even redlining. I just got
Yeah, so
blasted
why-
by. So why we do what we do?
Why do we do what we do?
Well, I work at a university. Shay works for a school. So we have public-facing jobs where basically it's a good idea to keep your opinion to yourself most of the time. And generally speaking, I think that's not a bad way to live anyway. So this gives us an outlet to say just whatever the fuck we want without being concerned about any repercussions.
Yeah.
Because, it's
'Cause-
our show.
Yeah.
And we proudly earn the explicit tag.
Yeah. I got to say, for about 8 hours a day, I have to conform to everything. Just, you can't really show any side of anything when you're working in a school district. And it's really nice to be able to, tie one on, first off, and just speak your mind. I think more than anything, this has been a learning experience more than it has been, I feel like I'm not doing this to entertain people.
No, you do it because you're hanging out with friends, right? I mean, you're having drinks, you're hanging out with friends, and that's pretty much what this is for me too. But it's just like it's an added bonus that there's an audience and they want to listen to it.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing is that the amount of information I learn on a weekly basis. I feel like since we've started this, my knowledge base and just my understanding of the world and different views and stuff has certainly grown, and it's been an awesome experience.
Well, it kind of forces us to read the news with a little more discerning eye,
Yeah.
because I don't just listen to the news or read the news anymore. Now I'm reading it and I'm always thinking, is this something we're going to use? Is something we can, is there an angle on it that maybe will apply to the show? And it makes you think a little more deeply about the stories than you might otherwise.
Yeah, true that.
Plus, I think of it, I used to shoot pool on Monday nights for like 3 or 4 hours. So, and I did that a few years ago. Used to shoot league pool. So now this is kind of my, this is what I do now to get out of the house and hang out with my friends and drink too much on a regular basis.
I didn't realize we were atheists until like 6 or 7 months in when I sobered up a bit.
Well,
There's
doing
no
it right.
fucking God. Fuck this shit. Am I right? Oh, wait, we all agree on this? All right, then. All right.
Sweet.
well, and the atheist thing for us, especially out here in Utah, and I could imagine it's probably much the same in Laramie, is because it's an unseen thing in this state. Like, oh my God, how do you dare to be an atheist? You know, when you're living in one of the most like I almost said secular and fucked up there, but it's like one of the most religious states in the country.
Yeah, well, we're kind of lucky in Laramie. We're kind of a little bastion of blue in a sea of red here, where you're kind of just in a sea of red.
There's a whole lot of purple.
Salt
There's a whole
Lake,
lot of purple.
Salt Lake is
Very
statistically purple.
Salt Lake has a gay mayor now too, don't they?
Yeah.
Yes, they do. Yes, they
Yeah,
do.
I saw that.
Does
yeah.
the church hate him though?
Her.
Sure.
Oh God! Fuck!
I thought you were
yes.
in the news.
I don't pay attention to it. Like
It's
I
okay.
said,
I don't know who the fuck your guys' mayor is. I wouldn't expect you to do
no
the same.
idea.
So
I have no idea who Laramie's mayor is, so I'm
so-
really not offended.
Salt
But
Lake's
yes,
a little bigger.
she is gay, and I am currently feeling frustrated with her because she is in talks with the LDS religion, and I feel like the LDS church should fuck off when it comes to
to
the
politics,
Capitol.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I think they're probably just waiting for her to die so they can baptize her and call it good.
Oh, quick reminder
What's up?
to anybody
What?
listening: Church of Satan does have a do not baptize list that you can
Yes.
put in for. So
Like the Mormons recognize that. Come on.
Well, didn't they go into a Holocaust, like into a Jewish cemetery and just start baptizing them willy nilly?
Yeah.
And you get a baptism, and you get a baptism. Everyone gets
and-
baptized.
oh, if only they could do them
did.
outside of their ox-laden tubs that they have in
And
the
Frank
temples.
has been baptized, I believe, 9 times.
Well, she ought to be well baptized.
Have you guys looked
Oh,
into? Have you guys
that's
looked
that
into the
Canadian
temple
comedian.
rituals?
Bitch just will not take.
Have you guys looked into what happens actually at the temples and stuff when they do this kind of thing?
No,
It's
our
super
research
creepy.
into Mormonism basically ended at what was that Mormon sex site where it was like the people doing sex while they were wearing their garments.
Oh yeah.
That was about the extent of our Mormon research, and that was pretty.
sounds
Well, that's
super
really
gross.
about all you need.
Yeah.
Is that what Mormons don't have sex while wearing garments, do they?
Oh, well,
You're supposed to bathe with them on.
Only the kinky ones do.
Yeah, the super fundamental ones do.
No, you're lying. They don't do
Those are the ones that wear like the trapdoor garments, where like
so
Yeah.
every sexual encounter is like a glory hole thing, right? So
pretty
Pretty
much.
much.
So you get that hole in the sheet thing covered, you know.
oh god, it's like the Amish.
Yeah.
No, I think they're
No,
I
actually, the Mennonites and everything are probably better people. I would think.
think, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Actually, that's not a Jewish law, by the way. The hold in the sheet thing is not a Jewish law.
No, but I think
That's
it's a
not.
Well, I was thinking an Amish thing where the Amish will bring in an outsider to have sex with their women to keep the gene pool from getting stagnant, but they have to do it through a sheet.
Yeah. Or something. I don't know. That wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't. It
Yeah,
just,
nothing with religion surprises me anymore.
Yeah,
You know,
at this point.
It's weird. We've been trying to get an Amish or a Mennonite person on the podcast, but we haven't been able to contact.
Thing.
Well, our cans and string, they have to stretch so far.
Yeah, there's not too many
gonna
here in
work.
Wyoming.
Well, and the technology limitations.
Well, a lot of those fuckers have cell phones.
yeah.
That's true, they do.
Yeah, they're pretty. Most of them are pretty lax on the whole technology thing. In private.
Yeah. Somebody's got to play some Candy Crush. You know, they got.
Well, it's got to be pretty hard to live in this society and not be connected somehow.
We're talking about a bunch of people that never watched Seinfeld. You know.
I can't really fault them for that. I watched them the first time, but I'm not watching them again.
I was too young for Seinfeld when it was on TV, but I did watch the reruns like it was nobody's fucking business.
How old are you, Felicia? Like 17?
12, 13, I think.
Oh my god. I want to point out right now that I am legitimately the president of Atheists of Utah, and I'm 26 years old.
All
Oh,
right.
okay,
Well,
only a little
okay.
younger than me. Hey, there's someone younger than me.
Wow. I am by far the grandfather of the group, so I can make.
I don't know, Steve, how old are you?
I'm 46.
Oh, okay, yeah, you got me beat by a decade.
So we're talking about why we do this and what motivates us to do this. For me, it was that I felt I had my own perspective on things. I'd heard other people say things, and I've heard, you know, Matt Dillahunty and Pendulette and Teller, because that is his legal name, say all of what they had to say. I've heard Stephen Hawking's and oh my god, just forgot his name because I actually don't like him that much.
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
No, oh my god,
Bill Nye.
Oh my god, no, Bill Nye was like my hero from like a small age.
Wait, are we?
No.
Scientist?
He's an evolutionary evolutionary. Yes, thank
Dawkins,
you.
yeah.
Dawkins, I actually don't like that much. He kind of like bugs the shit out of me, actually.
Yeah,
But he's right a lot of the time. But like, I felt like I'd heard all of what they had to say, and I felt like that I'd formed my own opinion. So I wanted to be a part of the free marketplace of ideas, as it were, and so that's why I do it.
Yeah. You know, I think this has really opened the door to meeting, well, people from all over the country right now. I mean, you guys in Utah, you're right next door, but I don't think without this podcast, I don't think we would have known about each other.
We've really
for sure.
expanded our horizons for sure. We've met a lot of people through this, so much so that we actually formed a podcast network with several other shows, so
That's
that we
amazing.
can kind of work together to, do more. Even so, we've got.
Yeah, I'll tell Aaron my application's still pending, man.
Well, we hooked up with In the Name of God, the podcast.
The podcast.
And
you guys have Paul from the Q on there, don't you?
we have Atheist Apocalypse in the queue. Yep.
Along with Atheism 101 with Matt and Tim.
Matt
Yeah,
and
we
Tim
had
are
Atheist
awesome.
Apocalypse on last week.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. They were great. They were absolutely fabulous.
Yeah, and
then,
just this week, Secular Yakking joined us from there in Washington.
Washington.
Yeah.
I just like your guys' redirect URL. Makes me fucking giggle every time.
Oh, fuck your .church?
Yeah, fuck your .church.
Yep. But if you don't want to use the redirect, you can always go to
secularoutreach.com.
Yeah, we're the Secular Outreach Network, or SUN, because some of the founders were trolls. Fuck your son. Ours is better.
So let's see. One of the things that really gets me going when we're talking about the whole movement and the reason that we do what we do and why we talk about it. There was a video that came up this week, and I would say trigger warning, but I'm not one of those people. But it was a video where it had female genital mutilation, like it was the actual procedure. Like,
oh God!
Happening to
I
this,
don't know that you can really legitimately call it a procedure.
Call it a procedure because
No.
there is in no Western countries do they do any female circumcision. Which, by the way, the circumcision is not removing the clitoris itself, but that is something that often happens in female genital mutilation.
Yeah, that's what this one was.
What is the
That's horrific.
circumcision then?
They removed the hood, I believe.
Yeah, they remove the clitoral hood, which is the foreskin. It's the same endometrial tissue.
Boo.
Okay, why would you do that and not remove the clitoris?
I don't know, the same reason.
Why
It's a
would,
penis.
yeah, why would you do
It's
either?
a penis.
That's like cutting off the glands, man. That's like
Yeah.
Well, no, I just
getting the hood taken off is like losing the foreskin. Getting the clitoris taken off is the glands. So
Yes, thank you.
Well,
Except for the
why would-
clitoris does extend. The clitoris is basically a tiny penis. It's
Yep.
two
Yeah.
I've watched some
bodies.
hentai.
Yeah, the clitoris is
Jay
about the
hasn't
same
actually
size
seen
as
a
mine.
clitoris, so
I've been
he's
looking for it
curious,
for
yeah.
years. God bless my wife. Buddha bless my wife. Whatever.
Seriously, if you can't find the clitoris, fuck you. Seriously.
Ooh,
It could be
Oh,
because I'm blind.
it's right there.
But maybe no. See, here's my question is, so I don't understand female genital mutilation, but I guess that it's to remove the pleasure from a woman having sex, correct?
Exactly.
So
There's several levels of female circumcision. These go through removing the clitoral hood so that it is less sensitive.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Yes.
that was my question. Why the hood?
So
I mean,
so
I got
if they so that the
can
yeah,
do what
so
I
it becomes calloused because the clitoris
Uh,
is so damn sensitive. I
okay.
mean, to a point where it could be painful if it's directly touched.
Okay, I
Um,
understand it now. So that's why.
but then it goes even further to removing the labia, to sewing up the vagina so it's smaller.
Gross.
What?
So
The vaginal opening. The
Yeah, no,
reason that they do
I know what
this
parts are.
The reason that they do this is so that women don't enjoy sex, so that
Okay.
they will remain monogamous.
I didn't understand the removing the hood part specifically because
yeah.
I didn't know it would make it so sensitive that it would eventually callous and be less sensitive.
The only skin on the body that cannot callus is the lips and the nipples.
I've tried hard with my nipples, but
Yeah, I've had runner nipple a couple of times, and that's not fun.
Yeah, no, runner nipple is a thing. That's the only skin on the body that actually cannot callus. Lips,
I was
nipples.
hoping it would callus because god damn it, that hurt.
No, it can't. It physically cannot. Sorry, X. It won't happen.
yeah,
So-
I run all the time. You can obviously tell by my physique. Running.
Hey,
is a thing to do.
I weigh
So-
270 something and I still run, man. Come on.
The glans penis can callus, and the
Oh, yeah.
clitoris, the glans penis, the glans clitoris, excuse me, can
As every
actually
little boy has learned from using soap.
Oh,
they
careful.
can actually callus. Generally, people avoid doing that because it sucks. But
take
that is
all
why
out of
they
this.
would remove that would be why they would remove the clitoral hood,
Okay, that
which
was
is just endometrially speaking is just the foreskin. It is the
Okay.
exact same tissue.
So as I was watching this video, like it had some random guy coming over to do this. Like they called him a barber, which barbers used to do surgery back in the days.
Yeah, in the Middle Ages.
Yeah, and the guy was just like pulling tools out of like this like sheath that he had, like the stuff that he like didn't clean it, didn't go through an autoclave, obviously. Like it was just about as bad as like him spitting on a knife and rubbing it in there with like his handkerchief or something like that. It wasn't that bad.
Well,
And so like he like tears up some sheets and stuff like that to use as bandages to like tie it off and everything, and they force this little girl's legs back behind her, like over her head, and they snip like on the video. You don't see like it, but you see it happening from like an over the shoulder perspective.
oh,
And
God.
the dude was like saying, "Oh, come on, your ancestors are pissed at you for crying so much and stuff like that." And so I was watching this video, and it was just fucking horrible. And the girl was like the translator was like laying out what she was saying. She was cursing her parents. She's cursing her parents, saying, "How dare you do this to me? I can't believe you let this happen." Blah 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 blah. And the same time, there's all these older women in the area that were ululating and talking about how it's a tradition and we got to keep it alive and it's a tradition we have. And I'm like, yep, that's the reason I'm an atheist activist, because that is some bullshit and needs to go away.
Wow.
Yeah, tradition. That's a good thing.
Bullshit is way
right?
too common
Yeah.
a word to describe that. That's torture.
Oh,
Yeah. No,
Torturing
that's-
your own family members. It's horrible.
And I don't understand anybody who thinks it's a good idea to lop off perfectly healthy parts of a human body,
oh my God.
especially with males. And I am a foreskin activist kind of guy. I didn't get the choice. I would rather have had the choice,
I'm sorry, X, but not especially. Okay, because and I'm not saying less so. If she had been an infant, at least she wouldn't fucking remember it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest here. Circumcision is not okay. Circumcision is a violation of that person's bodily autonomy, and it takes away part of their perfectly functional genitalia.
Thanks, religion.
Yeah.
Yay!
Thank you.
Tradition!
But to go to a female who was perfectly capable of voicing her opposition and without anesthesia and with somebody who
they
is
definitely
just
didn't have that.
somebody, and in some countries they do this with broken glass. This will ruin her sex life forever. She will never enjoy sex again. Ever.
Thanks, guys.
In her culture, she probably wasn't supposed to anyway, I suppose. Not that
Yeah.
that justifies it at all, but it's horrible.
I'm sorry, but and we refer to it colloquially as female circumcision. This is so much more than circumcision because it's not just removing the hood. Because if they just removed the hood, then she could function. She could function. It wouldn't be good at first, but she could develop calluses and have a perfectly normal sex life. No, they cut off her labia. There's cases where they remove the clitoris, which is one of the most important parts of sexual gratification. And if you remove the clitoris, there can be lifelong pain. Lifelong pain. And then in some places they sew it shut. Not completely, but just enough that it hurts every fucking time. And it's terrifying, and I'm sorry, I'm getting way too serious, but it terrifies me. And it's really upsetting. I'm
So
sorry.
let's Felicia, go take like 5. And we will move on to closing out the show because we have to let these guys go in here in a couple of minutes. Anyway, that was the main topic. Sorry, it got real heavy there. I didn't think it would get so heavy. But we are going to move into our end of the week or end of the episode features. And for me, I'm going to go with the high and low for this week.
All right.
My low this week was having to completely reprogram a guy that I work with. See, unlike Shay and Steve here, I'm able to be out about who I am, what I believe. I mean, you're not supposed to make a big deal out of it because it could potentially go to HR and they might get pissed and say, "Hey, don't do that anymore."
Well, just for the record, it's not that I'm not out. It's that I don't broadcast my perspective widely. If somebody asks, I'll tell them.
Oh, that's good.
But I don't volunteer it.
But
And me, I dance around the subject.
Yeah, I was going to say, you kind of have to, don't you?
Oh, very much so. Everyone else is out, like, a bunch of Mormons, a lot of Christians,
yeah.
and that's about it. And they're like, what church do you go to? And I'm like, I
drink beer.
Just sleep in and I drink beer.
Yeah.
It's a guy that's about as far as I'll go.
Do they have a church for Ninkasi somewhere? Yeah, it's called my basement.
My basement. You can feel free to worship there, but we take a tithe and it's mighty high. It's your soul.
So this was the guy at work and I shared it on the Atheists of Utah group. But this guy thought that Obama was coming for his guns.
Mm-hmm.
He said that Obama, because we're being a federal employee, we're really watching what's going on with the budgets and everything like that because it's our job. You know, if we don't have a budget, we still have to come to work even though we're not going to get paid for it.
So, are you an air traffic controller?
No, not quite.
Okay.
Or I can say, yes, that's exactly what I am.
Okay.
So anyway, this guy thinks that Obama's coming for his guns, and he thinks that he's vetoed like all of these bills that have been put in front of him. And I had to point it out to him, like, look, dude, Obama's vetoed 5 things. 5. I'm like, what year is he in now? 7?
Yeah. He's fewer vetoes than maybe any of his predecessors.
Yeah, he's been really light-handed.
And so he's like, oh, that's just because he had Larry Reid be able to take the fall for all that stuff not making it to him. I'm like, you guys have owned 2 houses, like, for the last 6 years. I don't want to hear shit about you saying that it's Larry Reid or Nancy Pelosi or something like that. You know, you guys can't get shit through because you're trying to pass bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And so it went on and on with this guy and how the country should be closed to Muslims. And I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? Really? Do you watch any other news source besides Fox? Because country should be closed to Muslims. Okay, because you could tell with a lot of people that like listen primarily or watch primarily only one type of news source or get their information from one type of thing.
You can see it in their eyes. Yeah, they got crazy eyes.
They're looking at it like, here's this. Like, okay, that's all I see. This is my world. I don't see anything else. You know, there is a bottom to this thing too. There's a backside to it. Like, it's all the way around. There's not just one simple fucking polarizing answer to your question that you might have sometime, buddy.
No, it's the 2-dimensional echo chamber is what it is.
Man, so he's like, I don't think Muslims should be allowed in this country. It's obviously a problem. I'm like, it's a problem? What do you mean? Well, you know that shooting in Santa Barbara. And I'm like, really? You're bringing up Santa Barbara. Okay, there was the one at Fort Hood. Besides those 2, how many Muslim attacks have we had in the last, 8 years?
Well, and even those 2, they can't tie them specifically to Muslim terrorist organizations.
But it just really
They're
bothered
loose
the fuck out of me.
ties, but
Because I brought up the guy that shot up the Planned Parenthood, and I'm like, He was a Christian. He was a Christian terrorist. No, he wasn't a Christian.
Yeah, he was. Fox News doesn't like to say that because then none of their other statements make sense.
He was too white to be a terrorist. He was a lone gunman.
He was a lone gunman, not a terrorist.
He was a man with mental problems or mental health issues or some shit. Like the excuse they like to go through when it's one of their own, but when it's somebody else, it's a terrorist. Man, let's see. So besides having to reprogram this guy, and thankfully a lot of it sunk in, but he's going to go home over the weekend, be talking to all of his buddies, and the gun debate was probably the best part of it all, because he's like, well, I don't want them to know that I have my guns. I'm like, do you realize how much of a supervillain you sound like right now?
And also, they don't.
And he's like, well, they shouldn't know that I have guns, because that means that they'll know where to come from them and come and get them. And I'm like, okay, if you think, unless you're buying all of your guns in cash, there's a record for buying that thing with a credit card or something. Like, there is a record out there that this gun was sold to somebody.
Plus, what kind of mindset do you have to think that if the U.S. government was to decide that it was going to collect the guns, that they
would be able to keep it.
Do it.
Yeah, like they would go door to door. They got enough time for that? Really?
We spend more money on the military than the next 25
countries, yeah.
Countries. Yeah, if they want to do it, it's done.
And
the idea, you're the one guy.
And I told the dude, I'm like, look, there's a fucking federal database for my car. Like,
I'm sure guns are pretty.
That's what bothers me the most. I have to go through a background check to get a driver's license. I have to prove competence.
You have to do tests. You have to do written tests. You have to do driving tests. You have to have insurance. You have to have a license.
And renew it every 7 years or so?
Yeah, depending on your state. But you don't have to do shit to get a gun, right?
But you have to register your car every year. You have to pay taxes on it. Yeah.
You have to go through. You have to make sure it goes through safety inspections to make sure it's not just going to kill somebody randomly.
A car. Yeah. A car.
A car.
I think if you want to own a gun, you should have to go through at least that level of scrutiny and carry insurance.
Yeah.
Specifically for that.
And I've talked to some people that do have concealed carry permits. And I'm like, first of all, why? But whatever. They're paranoid enough. They think they have to have a gun with them everywhere they go. And yes, I am calling people out that are listening to this right now that might be concealed carry people. You're fucking paranoid.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, here in Wyoming, I don't know if you knew this, but it is, as long as you're a Wyoming citizen, it's legal to conceal carry in Wyoming. Mm-hmm. So I could walk out to conceal carry. I could walk outside with a pistol and it'd be totally safe. It'd be totally legal.
Because I grew up in Wyoming, right? Until I was in my 20s. I never left the house without a gun under the seat of my car.
Yeah.
Because that's just how it was.
It was the culture, right?
Right. Until and I'm old enough that when I was in high school, the school parking lot was full of trucks with guns hanging in the back windows. Yep. It wasn't unusual. So I'm coming from a perspective of someone who's used to it, right? I grew up with them in the house. Every gun was loaded.
Yeah, me as well. I like guns, but I think that we're too fucking lax on them.
Well, and I think
exactly.
Then
that's my point is that even with this background, I think it's a really good idea that we control them at least as much as we control our vehicles.
Well, and then again, back when Steve had his first gun, it still took about 10 minutes to reload, which is when the law was written. If our forefathers knew that you could put 100 rounds down range in about a tenth of a second, I think they would have rewritten it a bit differently.
Yeah. And
if they had a standing military, they would have rewritten it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because every one of those guys didn't want us to have a fucking standing military.
Right. A well-regulated militia does not mean Bubba Joe with his pistol in his back pocket.
Yeah, because Utah is a open carry state. Mm-hmm. Like, you can walk around it with it slung on your back or on your hip or something like that.
I'm okay with the open carry because it makes it really easy for me to decide who I need to avoid.
Well, I think honestly, one of my biggest problems with it is I don't understand a reason for pistols. There is no reason to carry a pistol unless you want to kill someone. Like, that's But I mean, that's what those things are made for. You don't go. There's not many people that go hunting with a pistol. You go hunting with a rifle.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
you can't really stick a rifle in your pocket and people not be like, something is a bit off with that gentleman. I think
I can't put my finger on
Yeah,
it.
it's like, oh, he's walking weird. There's something.
Walking with a really
Dog,
straight
are
leg.
you happy to see me? I think pistols are the one thing that I really just don't get. They're not made for anything other than killing people.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, that's my cat for everyone.
So, and my high to cap it all off for me for this week is that it seems really pedantic, but I was able to sleep in for a couple of days this week. And it felt like, and because with my kids, I have to get up fairly early after getting off work at like 1 a.m. And so I had to get up like at 6 to take somebody to school. So it was really nice to get like that extra couple hours. So getting that like 2 or 3 days out of a work week was fucking great. I loved it.
I'm lucky enough that my kids are in junior high now, so they pretty much take care of themselves that time of day.
Yay!
Yeah, and I've
So-
decided not to procreate for at least a little longer.
Ditto.
We're all
You're
very
welcome.
happy about that too.
Yeah,
Hashtag no babies.
you need
Oh,
to
thank
soberly walk into that decision.
Yeah, which that's gonna take a while for me to sober up anyway.
Well,
so it's gonna be a
that's one of
long
those.
time.
It's one of those decisions where you really do have to sit there. I mean, I put a lot of thought into it before it happened, but there's so many other people like, oh my god, let's have a baby. It look just like us. That would be so cute. And like, no. You need to sit there and you need to think. I'm putting my life on hold for at least the next 8 years.
Yeah, I work in child.
My ex
care.
originally told me. Sorry, go ahead.
I said I work in child care. All I ever
Oh.
want to do is shake them, and apparently that's not allowed. Oh fuck it.
As long as no one sees it.
My ex told me that he wanted to have babies by the time he was 26. I was like, dude, I will be 22. Fuck you. And I ended up getting, like I described earlier, an IUD. So that was not an option. And my ex and I never had a baby. Yay!
Yay. I was surprised. So,
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
the
You
twins
have
were for me.
children as well. Yeah. Surprise children. I actually found out while I was shooting pool.
yeah, our decision wasn't so much whether or not to have kids, but whether or a kid, whether or not to keep it.
Oh. That is a hell of
Yeah.
a surprise.
That was a hell of a discussion. That was a fun night.
My wife had already done 2 pregnancy tests, and I told her to take a third. She still kind of holds that against me, I think.
Are you sure? Positive?
Are you really
Check
sure?
this once.
Are you sure you're sure? Is there like a pregnancy test for pregnancy tests? I mean,
Yeah,
Exactly.
we were pretty sure. We only had to do 2 tests. The second stick changed as soon as we took it out of the box. So we were pretty sure.
all the hormones in the air.
Like, okay, yeah. So what do we want to do now?
So, what about you guys? You guys have any highs or lows for the week that you want to talk about?
Let's see.
Or if Kyle has one, Felicia.
Well, I've got a couple I could rattle off, because I haven't talked about it on this show yet. So I just me and my wife, we just had our 10-year anniversary.
Hooray!
I know, it's fun. We did absolutely nothing for it. It was sort of hey, 10 years, cool. What do you want to do? I don't know.
Is that the best? That's honestly what I want my first year anniversary to be like. How about we Netflix and chill?
Yeah, that was pretty much it. It's like, let's drop the kids off, go to dinner at Applebee's, and then come home and watch a movie.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Two-
What do you
2
want to
years
watch?
ago, my
Oh,
wife,
Yeah, I think we sat down and we watched Alien.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good choice. Good choice.
2 years ago, my wife and I literally discovered 2 days after the fact that we'd both forgotten our anniversary.
I actually have no idea when my anniversary is with my boyfriend. No fucking clue.
Perfect.
Yeah, if we go by when we started dating, we have to look up when Social Network came out because that atrocious movie was our first date. We're like, it was between this day and this day, so
Mm.
I like that movie.
March? I'm like sometime in March, right? Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
close enough.
It's like I do anniversaries like I do my pets' birthdays. I'm like and I only do that just for their health. Like, so I can go to the vet and be like, they're this many years old. Like, that's basically how I do anniversaries. I'm like, March. So that's how long we've been dating, and yep.
Oh, that's right. That was a David Fincher
The vet
movie.
sends you a postcard.
What?
I didn't really.
Send you a postcard.
Yeah, they will. Is there a service that we could start? We'll send your husband a postcard 3 days before your anniversary just to remind him.
I put it in my calendar on my iPhone.
Oh, that works.
So what's the low, Kyle?
Oh God, the low point. I'm watching way too many goddamn movies right now.
Oh, Kyle's a movie critic,
I'm
by the way,
sick
guys.
of it. I at this point I am just kind of sick of movies, and I've got another dozen ahead of me over the next 2 weeks.
Why are you reviewing them or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a
So-
movie critic
yeah.
for WatchPlayRead.com.
Mhm.
Oh God! So turning movies watching into a job? That sounds terrible.
Does.
Yeah,
no
it's
longer
a
fun.
little bit terrible. Yeah. Yesterday, I had the wonderful pleasure of watching the new Alvin and Chipmunks movie.
Oh, there's a. I thought they all died in the last one. Maybe I just hoped. Maybe I just hoped.
That's a good low point. Yeah, right there.
That's a good one.
Mhm.
Let's see. I guess my high point this week is that I have 1 week left of this school year, so I get the next 2 weeks off, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And the low point would be one of my students punched me in the face.
That fucker.
Well, it's what they do when you tell them to do something and they say no, and you say yes, they say no, then they threaten to punch you and you laugh.
Oh,
It was kind of my own fault. I should have taken a step back, but I don't back down that easily.
Well, Shay's job is to work with the most frustrating of the children.
Yeah, I have
Just-
the cream of the crop, if you will.
and no matter how frustrating they may be, your own are 10,000-fold.
Yeah.
Well,
Just-
yeah, because you can't pawn them off on their parents at the end of the day. You have to bring them and love them.
just remember, if you hit him back, do it with a phone book.
won't leave bruises.
Yeah, won't leave a bruise, and it gets the message across.
And
See,
pull your punches. Pull your punches.
you can mix a whole bottle of NyQuil into a gallon of juice, and then you don't have any problems. It's like they just kind of sleep all day.
Hey, I saw Full Metal Jacket. You can throw soap in a pillowcase, right?
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Have a blanket party. Yeah. So what about you, Steve? You want to go, or Felicia?
I spend a lot of time watching television because that's what I like to do, and I finished The Man in the High Castle.
Oh fuck! I watched the first episode and I want to
I
finish it,
was
but
pretty happy about that. That was a pretty good of a not 2 nights ago. That was a pretty high point for me. Plus, I had a dual Christmas party week, which was kind of fun. I had a work Christmas party and then a friend Christmas party this week, so I got to partied up with people I don't get to see that often. That was pretty good.
Well, that's
awesome.
awesome. All right.
Go
My
for it,
high
Felicia.
point for the week was getting William, the fella,
The beau.
the boyfriend. I got him hooked on Doctor Who.
Yay!
Yeah. So
Are
here's
you
what
all
happened.
are you all hooligans then?
Well, I
prefer-
am. I'm a pretty
yeah.
severe one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If Kyle had a
Absolutely.
camera, he'd show you his calf where he's got a giant TARDIS tattooed on it.
Oh, see, I have the seal of the Time Lords on my arm.
Oh, nice.
Nice, dude. That's awesome. So
See, I
I
prefer hooligan to Hoovian just because I feel like I like to cause a ruckus.
okay. Yeah. Well, you know.
What's that you're saying
So-
about Capaldi? Fuck you! Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead, Felicia.
So we were over at my dad's. No. So it started out with I was feeling really depressed because it's the holidays and I work retail, and I'm sorry, but I mean, as much as I do love my job, because I really fucking do, the holidays like I seriously got plenty of sleep last night. Didn't drink alcohol. Like I was fine. Like I got lots of sleep. I was fine. I woke up this morning and I was still fucking tired. Like just tired. And like you look around my department at my store and everyone's just like, oh fuck. It's just 2 weeks left. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. Like so like this is what we're dying. So I was feeling really depressed, and he decides we're getting Betos, so I get a quesadilla because of course I do.
That's a local Mexican food chain.
I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know what that's not a word in my vocabulary.
Betos. Betos is a Mexican food chain, and they're like dirty Mexican. Like,
Like-
Like you can get a
higher-
burrito the size of a small dog for like $3.
yeah.
Oh, so
Yeah.
it's like hell, but cheaper.
Yeah,
All right.
and it's actually good too. It actually has
It
flavor.
is
you
so
know?
good. It's so
like
good. I
those.
love
So good.
Betos. It's like one of the fast food restaurants I will go to actually because I know their tortillas are like solid. Anyway, so I get a quesadilla and we get back to his place. He's like, "What do you want to watch?" And I'm like, "I want to watch Doctor Who."
You're like, yes, fuck
And
yeah,
he-
you do.
And he goes, "Isn't he always just trying to save the girl?" I'm like, "No, no. Okay, now we're
Shut up,
watching.
dummy.
Doctor
We're watching this now.
Yes, I said now we're watching Doctor Who for sure. So
Just make him watch Blink and just be like, what happens now, bitch?
yeah.
Don't blink.
So we
Have some
no,
nightmares.
So we
Fuck
started from the Ninth Doctor, that first episode where he saves the world from the plastic things,
Yeah, the plastic-
and then he sees the preview for the next one where he takes her to the end of the world, and I'm like, yeah.
Oh,
I go,
Fucking
he just
Sandra.
saved the world, and now he's taking her to the death of Earth. And he goes, what? And he like hits play, like on Netflix. He's like, play. Like, since then, he keeps texting me. He's like, I'm on the next season. Your doctor was better. Like,
You just described the only 2 episodes of Doctor Who I've seen.
yeah, Steve's not a fan.
oh my god, I love it so much. And we're watching the first episode of the Ninth Doctor. I'm like, okay, it's super corny. He's like, yeah. Like, yep, I'm in. Like, he's already there.
Oh,
and
you
he
want
just-
super corny?
he
Go
just
back
texted
before
me.
9.
He just texted me, and he was like, I can't stop watching. Like,
Oh, it was very, very addicting. It was worse before. Like, he has it good because he has like how many seasons? 6, 7 seasons to go through. When I
Yeah.
started, it was just that one. Or you could go backwards and watch things
Out of order.
well,
Patchwork
see
and stuff.
zippers. You could see. I turned watching the old Doctor Who's into a game. Every time you saw a zipper on a monster, you had to take a shot. I was.
Oh God, you die if you marathon it. You will die.
yeah.
that's
Or the other one, which is
Don't
almost
watch
as
the Old
deadly,
Doctor.
is every time you recognize a piece of technology as something you keep underneath your sink, then it's like, is that a plunger or a whisk or both? Yeah, that's 3 shots, I think.
It's a good thing.
Daleks use a paint roller.
Hell,
and-
I'd be dead.
Yeah, paint roller and a plunger.
It's a
And
good thing-
Cybermen were just covered in tinfoil.
It's a good thing our other host Aaron isn't here because he literally has encyclopedic knowledge of Doctor Who, and he could go off on a rant that would pretty much fill up the rest of your show.
So yeah,
Kyle,
I
you
just
got
feel like-
you got to meet like 3 of the doctors, didn't you?
See, I've talked with Colin Baker, Paul McGann, Stephen McCoy,
Wow.
or sorry, Sylvester McCoy. Shit.
Yeah, we had a con here where they managed to get a lot of the old doctors to come down. It was kind of cool.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
See, I got to say hi to Matt Smith. That's about it.
I watched. Oh my god, what's his name? Face
Careful.
of Bow. Face
Wax
of
your
Bow.
toes.
Oh,
No.
John Barrowman.
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 Captain Jack.
Yeah,
He-
Captain Jack.
You mean
I
Ra's
saw-
al Ghul?
He at the last FanX I went to here, it's a Comic-Con, but it's like mid-season Comic-Con, I guess.
Yeah, dead of fucking winter Comic Con.
Yeah, which I actually won't pay to go to either. Because I'm broke and I really don't feel like spending the money.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there was a TARDIS set up and there were these 2 women like taking a picture with their baby. And he like just jumps in and like he doesn't touch them. They have no idea he's there.
Yeah,
And
he
they get the
does
picture.
that.
Yeah, he does that. And then they turn and they're like,
Ah!
"What are you doing?"
What the hell happened with the? I'm not doing anything. I didn't touch
Dude,
anything.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Just there's
Someone's
oh.
dialing on Skype. No, Mom, I'm on the phone.
And I say,
I think that was
Yes,
me.
saying
Sorry.
you
I touched the keyboard and it brought up the dial pad.
don't want to
That's
kill
okay.
anyone.
That's a good interrupt, so we can get to Felicia's. Did you do
Low.
your low for the
No,
week?
I got a low point. Okay, so I want to point out that like 90% of my customers are amazing and I have a blast with them. But when you ask me how to sample bread, like I
Let's just put it in your mouth, let it slide down your throat hole.
okay, so here's the
Yeah,
funny
if you're a duck.
so I put the bread on an olive oil display with sample cups of olive oil. Like it's right there.
That's my favorite display, by the way.
It's the best display. Yeah, I get it.
I'm gonna get some bread. I'm gonna get some more bread.
And the lady goes, "How do we taste it? How do we?" She goes, "How do we do it?" And I go, "You taste it with the olive oil." So instead of dipping it in the olive oil like every other rational person in the world, she takes the whole sample
Did she
cup.
shoot it?
No, she takes the whole sample cup and pours it on this tiny slice of bread. I'm like,
You should have told her just to roll it up real tight.
She got the jalapeno one. She got the spicy one. She's like, I don't like it. And I'm like, no fucking shit, you don't like it.
I was really hoping she'd shoot it and chase it with the chunk of bread. That's how I do it. Give me another one, barkeep.
Give me a main line. I needed this in my body now.
I can only do about 3 of these before I have to run to the bathroom.
Right. And then her husband went to my Olive Bar, which if you've ever been to Whole Foods, they do a similar thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, so it's like just olives and things that go well with olives. And they're oily because
they're olives.
Because they're olives. I have a hard time with this one.
Olive oil made from olives. I think I read.
So I work in what's called a cheese island. It's like a circle in the middle of the store, and it's surrounded by specialty artisan cheese. And I run many other things like all specialty olive oils, olive bar, and fine crackers and jams. Okay,
so you could say that it's kind of a garden for olives, or a olive garden.
Fuck you. We are way better than them. Anyway.
Do you have breadsticks?
Do they have breadsticks? Never-ending breadsticks and salad. I mean, that's some good shit.
Yeah,
right
if you don't
there.
have that, then fuck your store.
The only reason to go to Olive Garden because their food is shit. So anyway,
their breadsticks are not.
I walked away from my like, so there's a little area back there with wood blocks to do production stuff like cut cheese and package shredded cheeses and stuff like that, and sinks, and basically it's a food safe area and the general public is not allowed back there, and the vast majority of people understand this, that the little doorway area, you don't cross it. But this guy apparently decided, since he got oil all over his olive container that he was getting from the olive bar, decided he definitely needed to go back there for my paper towels. And so I'm walking back, and he's standing in the middle of my island, and I go, "I'm sorry, sir, you can't be back here. Please, you can't be back here. I'm sorry, you can't be back. I'm sorry, sir." And I used the word "sir," and I said, "I'm sorry," and he like flipped out at me.
And then she pulled her concealed weapon.
I was just going to ask if he was open carrying at the time.
He's like, "I just needed a napkin, okay? I just needed a napkin. I got oil all over this, and I needed a napkin. And you shouldn't jump down my throat for that. I know I'm not supposed to be back there, but I need a napkin." I'm like,
Donald Trump.
You could just ask somebody. Like, they're serious. Like, he was like literally 5 feet away from the deli.
And they've got napkins all over the place. I know your store.
They've
got napkins all over.
There's napkins on the salad bar. There's napkins on the soup bar.
In between boxes of cereals.
And hell, it's retail. You could go over to the. It's retail. You go over to the clothing section to wipe your hands. That's fine.
Okay, you misunderstand what I have. The store I work in, sir. We're kind of.
It's artisan.
Yeah, it's artisan. It's artisan. There's no clothing.
It's a grocery store that costs way too much.
Okay, so that's going to bring us to, we got to close this out because
So
these guys...
he yelled at my low point was that he yelled at me because
you were doing your job.
broke the law. So I got yelled at because somebody else broke the law. So, that
So
happened.
many thanks for Stephen Shea from Waiting for Wrath come onto the show. You guys need to go check out their podcast. They're really a blast to listen to, and they won't take up quite as much of your day as we do because I think you guys keep it to about an hour every episode.
Yeah, we record for 3 hours, but we carefully edit it down to an hour of listenable content.
Yeah,
And actually, our longest show will be recording on the 20th. I think we're doing a Advent calendar show.
Oh yeah.
Actually, Matthew from In the Name of God, the podcast, sent us a beer Advent calendar with 25 beers. So
Holy
we're
shit.
gonna drink all of them in one go. So
Between the
we've
four of
decided to. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's only 6 beers each.
Yeah,
so
we're
we
going to
should
do a
be
marathon
fine.
show. We're each going to drink a 6-pack, and we're going to see how that works out.
Well, except
That's a good way to get Felicia drunk.
unlike what you guys said on the show a couple of, well, I think it was the last episode where you're talking about how most people like Jen would be like, don't like this, and so that means that someone has to take up the mantle, and so
That is always me.
Yeah.
I get shit faced. But luckily, I don't have far to walk to find my bed.
yeah.
Yeah, Chase sits literally about 20 feet from his bed while we're recording, so that works out pretty well.
Yeah.
He's like, it's calling to me.
Yeah. So you can find out all this. I'm hoping to put the 25 beers into the show notes this upcoming week in case people want to read along. But you can read those and find that all out on waitingforwrath.com. Or you can always find us at secularoutreach.com. That's the Sun Network that we've recently started. You can listen to all those other awesome podcasts. And yeah, we have a blast. Everyone has a blast. And I'm looking forward to the beer show more than anything. I'm going to get tanked.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to be wheeled out of here.
Emma said she'd give me a ride.
Okay.
I'm going to take her up on it.
It's going to be a good time. So thanks for you guys for coming out. Thanks for our patrons of the show, Robert Jones and Lee George Cade, for pledging their support for the show. We're off to go record the after show for those that donate at the $5 or higher level. Details on that might be changing here pretty soon. I'll let you guys know. But anyway, I'm going to send you out with as well. It was kind of a somber day like last week for me because it was the anniversary of Dimebag Darrell's death. So I'm going to send you out with Pantera's Planet Caravan. Have a good night, guys. You're welcome. Okay.
X.
What?
Next week we need to do